You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Hey folks, welcome to the Thursday night Beans and Dice live call-in show. I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
I'm Wayne.
And we have Mike.
Kind of.
With no mic.
Kind of one mic, no mic. Oh, there he goes.
Whoopsie!
Saw him there for a second.
It's like Mortal Kombat.
It's no mic, one mic.
So he's going to work through his technical difficulties. I think it was last time it was my fault. This time is...
Sometimes his fault? Oh.
But he's got that fancy mic.
Oh, yeah. He's got all those little switches and gears and
Yeah.
stuff to play with. Something's switched the wrong way.
I still remember...
Too many tech.
Right. Yeah. DJing in Ybor City back in the day, I moved everything into digital. Like everything was digital. And I was going into that digital world. This is early aughts, y'all, for you youngins.
Way back
early 2000s.
Before y'all were live.
And I remember one night that digital failed me, Robert, in the middle of a set in Ybor City DJing. And I had to call my buddy Mikey.
Oh.
You know Mikey.
Yeah.
And he had to take his little CRX. And we had to pack my DJ equipment in it. He had to rush it over to Ybor City so I could finish DJing that night.
Wow.
From then on, I have never trusted anything digital. It's
Pre-test.
all analog. Look at these microphones. These are analog.
Everything's plugged
XLR plugged in. No
Nothing
USBs.
wireless, nothing crazy.
There's a reason why until SpaceX, like the flight controls on space shuttles were still digital toggles and switches, or analog toggles and switches, man.
I just don't trust digital. It sounds cool. It'll fail you.
One little thing.
Especially like DJing weddings and stuff. Like I could not afford the failure.
I trust digital. I just keep it simple with digital. Like the more complexity you try to bring in, you end up having some issues there. But
More potential issues. Yeah.
Well, welcome to the podcast where we talk about audio and
hey, I'll tell you what. Everybody that the other people like the Board Game Rundown and the Board Game Blitz and some of the other podcasts and groups that we've collaborated with a little bit here and there have always been like, dude, the audio quality on your podcast is amazing.
Yeah, that's all Carlos.
I tried. And if it wasn't for Robert, we wouldn't be doing video.
Yeah.
A little retrospective here.
Yeah.
We just passed 3 years of doing the call-in show, but if it wasn't for Rob, we really wouldn't be doing video. My thing was all audio from the beginning.
An audio podcast.
And so I'm glad to hear that is coming through. But we do talk about board games.
Yeah, sometimes.
We start off the show talking about us, what we've been up to.
Prime the pump here.
Yep. And then open up the phone lines. And while we open up the phone lines, we check out news topics or talk about other random craziness. It's just how we do.
Yeah.
And somehow it seems to work. People keep showing up.
Yep. Yeah. Tonight we don't have a lot of topics, but one thing we wanted to hit on was the game day exchange holiday thing we did last weekend, right?
Yes, we did.
Weekend. Yep.
Saturday.
Good times. So we met at Armada Games, our local shop here. It's been here forever, just down the road up here by USF, University of South Florida. And
20 years at least, right?
Yeah, gosh, how many years? I don't know. How many years has Armada been there?
I believe 14 or 15 right now.
Okay.
I do believe it's not quite in the upper teens. I believe 15.
Okay. So yeah, they're definitely not a fly-by-night. We've seen some come and go. Unfortunately, with some friends, we've seen shops come and go. But Armada's been around for a long time, and they seem to be running strong, so that's good. But anyway, we got together, Saturday? We had some iffy weather here in the area. They were calling for, earlier in the week, they were calling for like cyclones and typhoons and like plagues and floods and all kinds of stuff. And it got a little bit nasty. It didn't, luckily we dodged a lot of that. We didn't get nearly as bad as I think they were predicting. But we had some people who aren't real super local. I know there was a group from Lakeland who comes over sometimes, and I think the weather scared them away a little bit. So we had we had a nice turnout, though. We had, about 10 people there?
Yeah,
so
10-ish.
Yeah.
I bought pizzas.
Yep.
Zeno bought some pizza.
Right.
Zeno came down with his crew from Spring Hill.
Yep.
We had some folks that were Beans and Dice folks who were already there playing their preferred miniature games. I know Kenneth was there.
Right, Kenneth was there playing Battletech.
Barry was there playing some Blood Bowl already.
Yep.
So, we got to see some of the crew that weren't there for the board games, but were there for the miniatures game. And that's where Armada was our first stomping ground. That's where we tend to hold most of our game days at.
Yep. We did a little game exchange, so everybody brought a game or two, or some, in Daryl's case,
or 8.
8 or 9 or 10. So brought some games. We threw them on a table. We gave everybody a number, and we just did like a snake pick. So first we went 1 to 10, and then we went back from 10 to 1, just kind of snaking up and down. Everybody grab a game. So,
and I warned everyone up front. I said, listen, this isn't, just because if don't expect that if you bring like 8 games, you're gonna get like 8 times that you get to pick. It's just bring one game and pick one game. But if people bring more, then that means we just go back and forth on the snake until they're all gone.
Yep.
And man, that worked out because I think we went 3 times at minimum, maybe 4 times,
3 to 4 times,
up and down the snake, having people pick games.
Yeah, so I think everybody got 4 games at least. Other than Daryl did pass a couple times.
Some people kind of saw what was left and said, "I don't want any of that."
Yeah.
Y'all can continue.
Yeah, but there was some good stuff out there.
You want to talk about what we got out of the gift exchange?
Yeah. I
Do
don't
you remember anything that you got?
I remember a couple, but yeah.
All right, well, then I'll lead off.
I'll lead off because you got all yours here. I'll try to remember.
My first pick.
I added them all to my collection on BGG.
I was one of the last people to pick, but my first pick
I'm going to go get mine. Hold on.
Oh, yep.
Blazon. It's 25th Century Games. It's a game about creating your family crest, a game of medieval heraldry. Herald. I went to high school with that
Who's
guy.
Herald, yeah.
It's still in shrink. You can see that.
Oh, it is, yeah.
So it just added to my Shelf of Shame collection.
In shrink.
But this is a recent title. I mean, this thing came out, I think, last year. Because I remember...
yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
I remember Mitch called in and gave his review of Blazon. If I remember correctly.
Yeah. I know those Louisiana guys liked it a lot. They were playing it for several months. It was showing up in the feeds on the Facebook and stuff when they'd post pictures of them playing it. I know BJ played it live on his show on Board Game Gumbo. So yeah, they were really, really liking this one.
So I scooped it up. People passed it. I think the first I was the 9th pick. I think I was second from the bottom.
Didn't get a lot of buzz. I think a lot of people just didn't know what it was. So yeah.
I hear the rule book is a hot mess.
Oh, is it really?
It's difficult to grok, but once you figure it out,
watch a video.
The rules are light and simple.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
So that was my first Christmas gift exchange pick. Wayne, do you have a Christmas gift exchange pick you want to share?
Yeah, I actually got 2. So my first pick was Cytosis.
Oh, cool.
Which this one's kind of right up my alley, having undergraduate degrees in biology and chemistry. So I'm kind of excited for this. I've heard good things about the company that creates this one. They have Cytosis. They have a bunch of like science themed games. So I'm kind of excited to play it. It looks kind of fun. It's a kind of a worker placement card driven game where you're doing cellular biology, which is kind of cool. So
yeah,
show the cover.
Learn a little something while you play. Yeah,
Cytosis. Look at that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's 2 different rule books. So there's one rule book that's the rules for the game, and then there's another rule book that explains the rules for the game and how that correlates to the actual science. And so you can kind of learn about cellular biology, which is cool. So I'm definitely looking to play this with my kid. So.
Nerd alert! Nerd alert! Nerd alert!
Sorry,
Robert.
I didn't bring my games with me, so I didn't travel with them. But Reyholt was a game that was my first pick when we went down the list. I think I had like the 5th or 6th pick, and Reyholt, a Uwe Rosenberg game. I'm a big fan. I like a lot of stuff that he's done. It's I don't know if you have to feed your people in this one. That's an interesting. I have to look it up. But anyway, this was the euro that was on the table, the kind of heavier euro, and that's right up my alley. So picking 5th was fortunate because I was early enough in the pick that nobody grabbed it. I know right after I grabbed it though, Wayne groaned. I think he had his eyeball on that one as well. So
how do you spell this?
Reyholt, Reyholt, I believe.
I mean, I got Cytosis instead of Reyholt, so I'm happy.
There you go. Yeah.
And actually, what I realized in the Cytosis box is one of the expansions, so it actually comes
that's a bonus. Yeah. And I think I told you after you grabbed Cytosis, I was like, if you want to trade, I had my eye on Cytosis as well. I was actually kind of 50-50 on which of those 2 that I was going to grab, but I just figured Euro, Reyholt, that was kind of up my alley. I knew a lot of the people there weren't Euro gamers, me, you, and I don't even know if there was really anybody else that I'd consider a Euro gamer. So, but anyway, I'll learn it. We'll play it.
You play it, and then I'll learn this and play it. We'll switch back and forth. So,
yeah, that works for me. Yep. So Reyholt, that was my my first round draft pick this year. Well, Carlos, are you?
Oh, there it is. I found it.
You find it? Okay. He's gonna pull it up here. He's
took me a hot minute.
So get a quick picture of it here. We'll pull it up on the BGG real quick just to show it, and then. But yeah,
it's a 2018 title. So it's fairly newish.
Yeah.
Compete against rival geothermal farmers
there you go.
to produce the best vegetables in Iceland.
Yep.
You know what's cool? I watched Nerd Alert. I watched a documentary
Oh man,
about a family that was growing in Alaska, growing vegetables in like a thermal type
a greenhouse kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's well, I lived in Alaska for almost 4 years, so I know a little bit about that. But yeah, they actually have. It's a very short growing season, as you can imagine, but it gets really warm, and certain things thrive up there. They're actually kind of known for their cabbages. They had cabbages that were
like golf ball or like beach balls.
Yeah, like 5-6 feet around. They're just huge, and it's like the 3 or 4 month growing season. It's like all the conditions
because the light doesn't stop.
Right, because it's 24 hours of light. If you're up there in the northern half of the state inside the Arctic Circle, which I was Fairbanks, which was right on the Arctic Circle. So in the summer it would never completely get dark. The sun would kind of just dip down and just barely go below the horizon, and then come back up, and you had just a couple of days of that, and then you get more and more dark.
It would just dip.
Yeah, just dip.
I'll
do the dip.
When I dip, you dip, we dip.
Yep. But anyway, dip below the horizon and come right back up. There you go. So that growing.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yay! You figured out your thing.
Now watch the camera doesn't turn back on. Oh, there we go.
That would help with the aesthetics of the show.
Oh yeah, that definitely wouldn't hurt the viewership. No.
Hold on, Mike.
The solution was to unplug and replug it back in.
Have you tried turning it off and back on again? We should have asked you that right off the bat. That should have been the first question.
Ay, Dios mío.
Anyway, what's your next one, Carlos?
You
You got another one on deck there? Yeah.
This next one
was your kid's pick, right?
Oh, he's bending down. No. Not the kids' pick. Yeah, me and Carlos had our.
I'm not showing what the kids got.
Some of our sons there that grabbed a couple games.
You know me, F them kids.
Mine grabbed Stratego, so yeah.
I picked up because of the designer, Martin Wallace.
Oh, yeah.
Automobile. Right off the bat, I went to grab this because I thought it was
automobiles.
Yes.
No, not automobiles. Not the more popular one, but
that's what I was like. Oh my God, automobiles! That's the one that Rob was talking about.
That one looked pretty complicated, man. That automobile.
Yeah, I was just saying I haven't looked it up yet. I was going to look it up on BGG and just kind of see what the lowdown was, but we got it coming up here.
Oh, we do
in just a moment.
There it is.
7.3,
Automobiles.
not a bad rating.
It's a 2009 title, 7.3 rating, 3.53 on complexity.
Okay, all right.
It is a Martin Wallace title, and I thought it was going to be like a horseless carriage, maybe kind of esque.
Yeah, not that heavy.
No. But it is about cars. I like cars. I like Martin Wallace. I'm glad to put this one on my shelf.
Yeah, anything Martin Wallace.
And even if it is just shelf of shame,
yeah,
I'm not opposed to that. It's Martin Wallace. It's one of my favorite designers. So it's going on the shelf. Automobile. That was one of my picks for the Christmas exchange. Wayne?
Sweet. Back to Wayne.
So my second pick, I went with a light one, but I got Disney's The Jungle Cruise.
Another one I was looking at. Yep.
Yeah. Not very well rated. I watched a couple of videos recently.
Oh, really?
No, Tom kind of trashed it pretty hard.
I heard it's pretty lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a lot of luck driven. But hey, I have a 9-year-old. They like Disney, so I really picked this up. I'll play it a couple times with him and then pass it on to somebody else. It's really light, 1-point rating, basically, but a 5.7, so it's not really. But again, it's one of those quick games that I'll probably play a couple times and then pass on. So it's just it's good. So always looking for a game to play with the kids. So
sweet. I'm going to mention one that my kid grabbed, my 11-year-old little deck of cards in a little baggie with a couple of little miniature dice, and he grabbed it.
Is there a name?
It had okay, I'll give it to you. It's called Dragonborn: Rise to Supremacy. And this is one Brian Zeno brought, and I don't think he knew anything about it. My son grabbed it because it had a little picture of a dragon on the front of it. I went home and put this in my BGG, and I looked, and you'll see it when you pull it up in a minute. This is actually a very highly rated game, and I'm actually pretty excited. Is
there a special spelling for this?
Dragonborn, B-G-D...
Is you having a stroke?
Dragoborn? It just hit me. It's not dragon. It's Dragoborn.
That's why I couldn't find it. Rise to Supremacy.
I just assumed it was Dragonborn because it's dragons. This is a head-to-head skirmish game about drafting and fighting.
Mike Elliott.
Yeah, dragons against each other. I couldn't believe it. Look, what's the rating? 7.0.
7.0.
It was just a little deck of cards.
17,662.
Yeah, there you go. But I was surprised that he just grabbed this game. I thought this was a nothing game. game. I started kind of looking at it a little bit, and this actually looks interesting. I mean, I don't know if you want to pull up a couple of the little pictures and the artwork on it, but or if there's pictures on there, or is that the only picture they have? Well, there you go. But it's a little head-to-head, like I say, a little skirmish card fighting game. I don't know too much about it, but it's got these, like I say, a couple little tiny miniature dice, and so I'm kind of interested in actually learning this one and playing it. But this is one he just grabbed, like I said, just because it had a little picture of a dragon on it, and it's got, I don't know if that's a neoprene mat they're playing on there, but there's actually a fold-out paper mat in there that has places for all the cards, and so this is this appears to be a lot more than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just some throwaway game that he picked up, but again, I'm interested in it, so once I play it, I'll report back and let everybody know how it is.
He said, "Dad, look, it's Flamecraft." No, son. In the chat, let's see. We've got Chester Wilson talking about cabbages large enough to make a feast for Odin. Blush.
Yeah.
That was from our earlier conversation. We were talking about what's the game?
Reyholt.
Growing vegetables in Antarctica.
Yep.
Benjamin,
Antarctica, not Antarctica.
Benjamin in the chat says, "Hello all, this sounds like a fun idea." I think he's talking about the gift exchange.
Oh, okay.
I have lots of games I would be fine parting with. And
Yep.
that's what I think I liked about it the best is people are coming in with games that they are okay with just getting to another family,
Yep.
getting to someone that's going to enjoy them or play them. You don't have to take a game. You can leave the games and then or just take them back home with you if nobody picks them. It doesn't matter, but it works out great. I think people walk away with something interesting.
That was Daryl's big thing, is he said that he was just trying to clear some shelf space. He said, I could probably take these to a flea market somewhere and sell them, for $5 or $10 a game. He's like, you know what? But I know you guys. You're a good game group. I know these games will get played. So I brought them here. He had some decent titles there, so he had some nice stuff that he brought. But he's constantly culling. He's constantly buying stuff and culling stuff. So it was nice of him to show up with that many games and throw them out. I think he ended up taking one of his games back because he said he had some second thoughts after he saw it out there on the table. He's like, I'm going to grab that one back.
When it was his turn to pick, he saw his game and he's like,
I want to try that one.
Yeah, I'm taking that back.
Yeah.
Edmund England says hello all the way from Sweden. Hola, Edmund.
Hey, Edmund.
All right. Who are we back? So that was Rob with Dragonborn. Back to Carlos?
Yep.
Okay. This was my third pick and very specific. Mike Fitzgerald. Again, that was Mike Elliott. Yours was Mike Elliott.
Yeah.
This was Mike Fitzgerald.
Well, we're going some name recognition here. Mike Fitzgerald. We got
Mike Fitzgerald and Richard Borg. This is Wyatt Earp, a thrilling card game of outlaws, sheriffs, and fast guns. Oh, that camera's not on. Fast guns. And it's a design by Mike Fitzgerald and Richard Borg, who are of the BH or Baseball Highlights 2045 fame. That's who Mike Fitzgerald is. And then Richard Borg is of the Command and Colors series, also known as Memoir 44.
Historic wargaming, fantasy wargaming.
You'd also be surprised to find out he also designed some Yahtzee titles for Hasbro, including Yahtzee Free for All.
Your favorite one?
One of my favorite versions of Yahtzee. And then also designed Liar's Dice.
Oh, Liar's Dice. That's right.
He's a Liar's Dice. His version of Liar's Dice.
Mike Fitzgerald did like Diamonds and a bunch of other card games.
Card games.
Let's see what I got. Here we are. First time I'm pulling it up on BGG.
Okay, 6.8. Not horrible.
Not too horrible. 2001 title. It's a classic.
Okay, it's older.
It gets a blue tag.
Yeah.
1.84. Mike. One Mike got my reference on the classic. The antique tag.
Antique.
6.8.
Vincent
Where's
Dutray
it ranked?
Interesting.
It's ranked at 425 for family.
Vincent Dutray now. Wow.
Oh, Dutray.
Okay.
It's in shrink.
Some early
This
Dutray.
could be worse.
Yeah.
Worse than early Dutray. Look at this. All right, that was my pick. Who's next?
Wayne's up.
In the games by designers we know well. I picked up a game here from Uwe Rosenberg called Framework.
Another Uwe title. I think Rob got one, right?
Yep. Reyholt. I know. That's
Framework. FRAME Framework.
That's another one Daryl brought. I know he's a big Uwe fan. He's has like everything Uwe's ever made.
This one looks like it's just fun little quick one, not too heavy. You're laying sort of tiles that create frames, and then you score based on completing certain amount of frames and within certain connections to each other. So it's kind of a sort of a route building game. So tile laying. So it was kind of cool.
Nice.
I saw, for a third pick. I mean, we've already at this point gone through 20-something games, and I was able to pick up an Uwe game, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see, ranked. Where's the ranking on this one?
3,000.
3,000 on the button.
Exactly,
Overall,
3,000.
3,000. That's a win right there.
Grab it while you can. Yeah.
So if you look at Nova Luna, which was a popular game that came out a year or two ago or recently, this is a re-implementation of Nova Luna.
Okay, cool. Well, speaking of re-implementations, my next one is For the King, and me in parentheses. But For the King is, I think, the main part of this one. This is a re-implementation or a redo of Biblios, which is a favorite of Carlos's and I's. Carlos introduced me to Biblios, way back at the beginning, I think, when we first started gaming. I'd say it was probably within the first year or two that he was showing me around this modern hobby board game thing, and we love Biblios. Biblios has two parts to it. You have a kind of a card drafting section to it where you're drafting a hand of cards, and then the second half of the game you're playing cards to manipulate these dice to get values, and you're trying to have the most of a certain color. I think there's 5 different colors, and you're trying to have the most of each most point value of those cards in your hand at the end, so that you can win the value, that the number of pips that's on that die at the end. And so you go through each color and you total up all the pip values that a person has. This is a reworking of it. It's a new theme, and this one, instead of dice, there are actually just little kind of placards that you put underneath different portraits of people. There's kind of little funny drawn portraits, and you're trying to get the most influence, I think, with each of these different people. It's the king and me. I think it's probably a royal court. I haven't looked into it too much, but I know the Dice Tower reviewed this and liked it quite a bit. It looks like 6.8 rating, 2021 release. So we'll see. We'll have to play this.
That's a good find.
Yeah, again, I know Biblios is a favorite of ours, so this is constantly compared to Biblios, kind of a reworking of Biblios. And so if it's similar at all, it'll be a good game. Carlos, back to you. What else you got under there?
My last pick was because my son kept yelling at me to get it.
Oh, yeah.
The Walking Dead, the board game. So this is Robert Kirkman's The Walking Dead, the board game. I remember seeing that in a comic book store at one point in my life, and thought the artwork it's gorgeous because it's right from the actual comic book, which I read before the show was ever a show. I still remember reading the comics, looking forward to the next anthology. I'd buy the volumes. I wouldn't buy like the individual ones.
Okay.
I'd buy like the big volumes as they came out.
Sure.
So my son asked me, Poppy, if it's still there, can you grab it? I'm like, yeah, sure. It's a Z-Man title. Z-Man Games ended up being WizKids, and now it's going to be
like winner.
5.7.
I heard it wasn't great, but
It seemed to be more strategic in nature. Like it was bigger.
Okay.
Like a bigger.
Yeah. So that was like the 4th or 5th game that I brought, and it I think I played it once or twice, and it's not very good. But it's a hex.
Oh, this came from Wayne?
Yeah, this was one of mine. So
okay.
Thank you.
Next time you're here, you can pick it up and take it back.
No, I'm good. I got rid of it. It's. I think you might actually find some fun with it because it's like a 10,000 foot approach, right? So it's a hex map, and you're moving your characters around, and you're basically trying to fight off the hordes. So it's a little bit more strategic.
It's zoomed out on the map. It's not a little bit, tactical.
Correct. So it may be something that would actually resonate with you, being a war gamer.
All right, it might work.
But hey, that was like the worst game I brought. So
okay.
I'm the winner.
So I put in photosynthesis. I put in the Game of Thrones board game.
Yeah,
with the expansion.
Hey, I brought King Domino, so that's all right. It was one of the ones I brought.
That was good.
I think that
was like one of the first ones.
Daryl got that one.
Daryl, that was the very first pick of the whole thing.
Yeah,
which I was a little surprised. He brought all those games, and then he picks up King Domino. He's like, you know what? I'm trying to save shelf space. I'm trying to downsize. He said, so King Domino's game I don't own. I haven't played it. I've heard good things. So yeah, that's whatever makes you happy.
All right, that's all I got. That's it for me.
Wayne?
Who's left?
My last pick is actually not a very good game, so I'm not going to talk about that. But I do want to mention Daryl because I want to talk him up because he was really good. He brought a lot of games. He was giving out games, and he knew that I play the Super Skill Pinball. Rolling right, and so I have the Star Trek one and I have the Christmas one. Well, he had the original one and then the first expansion that had the backboards, and he basically just said, "Here, you can have these." Now you have them all. I'm like, oh, that's great. I'm sure I'll take them. I'm not going to turn you down. So I like to thank him for that. And I basically told him that I would play through them a few times, and then those games I will then turn around and give him back either next year's game swap or
Yep.
sometimes because I don't need 4 versions of it, right? I like my Star Trek one and I like the Christmas one, so I'll play all the boards in those first 2 a couple times and then pass it on to other members of the Beans Dice community. So I just want to thank Daryl for that.
Yeah, I have a similar thing, so I'll just piggyback on that. Also, at the end, Daryl, he had some games kind of hidden away in his bag, so he pulled
Santa,
that one out.
man.
Yeah, gave it to you, and then as I walked by, he grabbed me, and he's like, "Hey, do you like solo roll and write type games?" I was like, "Well, sure." I was like, "Whatever, I'll play just about anything." And actually, I'm kind of leaning more into solo recently. But he pulled out this game I'd never heard of, Bargain Basement Bathyshere. And I actually have played that twice in the last week, and I'm liking it quite a bit. It's pretty luck-based, but it's, Carl's trying to pull it up here. I'm curious to see. Actually, I haven't pulled it up on the BGG to see what the ratings and stuff on it is. But Daryl was telling me, and actually I did see a little video when I was watching the How to Play on it, that this was originally a print-and-play game, probably back around the time of the pandemic, and when everybody was doing print-and-plays, and it was really popular. It kind of blew up as a print-and-play, so the guy decided to go full-blown production on it, and I don't know if he did it as a Kickstarter or how they did it, but he made a full-color dry erase boards. There's actually 3 different boards you play on. It's solo player only, but it's got some humor in it. It's this whole idea that you've got this little barrel and some oxygen tanks, and you strap them together, and you go jump in the ocean. And so you're following these different tracks. There's a push your luck element. You're rolling dice, and you're kind of moving down these tracks or moving along a path. And there's different objectives. There's 20. It's a campaign. There's 20 increasingly difficult levels of it, and they add in some extra theme as you go along. They add in some extra mechanisms, some mechanics, different things you do. At one point, you're rescuing divers who are running out of air. You're collecting sea life. Then in the third scenario, which I just played, the first couple scenarios, you're collecting different combinations of sea life just to get points, because the way you beat each level is to exceed a certain number of points for the level, and then you can move on to the next one. But now they had me rip out a page. Down at the bottom, there was a little pad with these big full-size 8.5 by 11 pages of, and there it is. Oh, that's the back side of it, which is actually going to probably, this is stuff they're going to introduce in future ones that I haven't done yet. But there's the front side. Now, as I collect this sea life, I bring it back, and there's a funny little story about there's a sushi restaurant right next door to where my dive place is, and so I'm selling my my sea life that I get to the sushi restaurant. And as I fill in a whole section here, it'll take several games to fill in a section, but as I do that, it will allow me then to add a extra die to my die pool for one of my future runs on one of my future games. And so it's kind of really cool how it's adding extra little things. I don't even know what the ocean floor part over here. There's another little mini game that looks like it's going to come up in one of the future ones. And then, like I say, the page before we shot by there's a whole thing about extra equipment that you can get to upgrade your bathysphere. And so that's a whole thing that I don't know anything about yet. So I did the first 3 missions, got those 3 done. There's on the left here, you see there's this little string of bubbles down the left side of the page, but it's just a spot for you to write in your score on each one, so you can kind of keep track of how you did.
Are there multiple of these pages so that
there was the pad had like 20 or 30 of them in there.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice. Very
so
cool.
again, like you said, Wayne, as I told Daryl, I was like, great, I'll try this, I'll play through it. I figured even if I didn't like it and only played it a couple of times, there's the print and play version. As if I didn't like it, then I would just probably pass it along immediately. But this is one I like my campaign games, and unless I just really get bored of this one, or unless they take it off the deep end somewhere, off the deep end.
Oh,
there you go. Then I think I might actually play through all 20 scenarios. I may try to play through this whole campaign, and then maybe by next game exchange, maybe I'll be ready to hand it off to somebody. But it's really well done.
That looks pretty good.
That's fun. I'm really enjoying it. But so thanks again to Daryl. I echo Wayne's sentiment there. I appreciate you donating and doing that. He told us a little story while he was there that when Your Turn started, he was one of the early game donators to the Your Turn collection. Rest in peace, Your Turn. But that he mentioned that he brought it was between 150 and 200 games and just donated them to the Board Game Cafe when it opened a couple years ago. And so he seems to be a very giving kind of guy. So, bringing the 8 or 9 games that he threw out there on the table is
seems to keep a real concise collection.
Yeah. He has things that he really likes that he homes in on.
Yeah, I think I brought the games I brought, like the Game of Thrones and Photosynthesis. They're games that I had that I know I'm never really going to play, and I've tried selling them a couple times at board game flea markets, and I'm just like, you know what?
Yeah.
Screw it. I'm just going to bring them. And I think Daryl's a good example of. I've already gotten enjoyment out of those games, or I know that I'm never going to play them. Is it really worth my time holding on to it forever, trying to sell it for $5 or $10 or 15 or $20? Like, just
did you get it?
Give it to somebody else.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Carlos is swatting
Carlos
flies.
swatting
So
mosquitoes.
out of nowhere, he's like swatting flies, grabbing them.
Like
I thought I put the camera on Rob. I'm like, I'll put the camera on Rob so I can spot this mosquito. And then, it's just me.
Anyway.
Yeah. But no, I think it's
For
a
you
good
folks
example. It's
listening
just
to the
like at
podcast.
some point you just got to move games on, right? I would rather give it to somebody in the gaming community, especially our local community here, that is going to either enjoy it or I know that they're going to move it on themselves. You know.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Except for Carlos.
Except for Carlos.
He never gets
He's
rid of
stockpiles
anything.
It's like a black
Whether he likes
hole.
it or not.
Hey,
It's all
Carlos
up
brought
here,
4 or
so.
5 games. He brought 4 or 5 games.
Yeah,
I
he
did.
did. Yeah. Everybody pitched in. Mike, we've been talking about all our acquisitions and all our
Yep,
fun.
and it's after 9:30, so I'm going to
So
open
turn
up
on
the
the
phone
lines,
lines. 813-618-7099 is the number. This officially makes us a call-in show, so now it is time for you to activate.
Audience participation.
Yes, this is the audience participation time.
But Mike, you got any new acquisitions? Anything you want to talk about?
I got Project L finally delivered.
I saw that. You posted that. Yeah.
Is this
Yeah,
a reprint, or is this like a whole new version?
No, this is a reprint, but it's this last Kickstarter. You could basically get everything that they've ever done in the past. So they had like the ghost tiles and the black tiles and all the different
Whoa.
special.
Let me go there.
Easy now. And they came out with mats, so I grabbed the mats as well, of course. And
This is a gorgeously made game. I remember Diego brought me his copy and asked me to make him a wooden chest. So I designed on the laser cutter a wooden chest for him to. But I'm sorry, I lost my thumb drive, so I don't have the files anymore.
Nope. Bye-bye.
Yeah, this one came with all the inserts and everything. So all the pieces fit in, like where they should, and all the cards fit in where they should. Very easy to set up and put back. So I played this with the person that introduced this to me was Raphael.
Oh, nice.
He from the first time I played it, I was like, man, not that it's this, super in-depth hard game. There is a little bit of chaining things together, but I just loved it. It looks great on the table, and
I got to jump in because this is everybody who owns this game seems to be so proud that they own this game. I played it one time and I had all these expectations for it,
and
it's
you didn't care for it at all.
Little game. I mean, it was okay. There was nothing wrong with it. It's just drafted these little, or not drafting, but getting these little things and then fitting them in these little spots and trying to fill in cards and complete cards and move on and pick another card. I mean, it was like it was a game, but I don't get it. I don't understand. What am I missing, Mike?
I don't know.
Joy in your heart, Robert.
Yeah.
You have a heart's 2 sizes too small.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know. I just something about it. I mean, I don't know if it's the tactile feel of all the tiles and then the colors and again, it's not, I'm not going to break this out with my Euro, gaming friends. I think this is going to get a lot of play with my family. And, some of our friends that aren't super heavy gamers, I don't know.
Anyone that's ever heard of Tetris can kind of understand it.
Right.
Or connect in a way, right? They'll have a little bit of schema with the shapes and the pieces and put them together. I love Diego's comment here. Rob, 2 out of 10.
Project L.
It was amazing.
Rob, it's more like a 1 out of 10 for Rob.
Yeah, it was no. To be honest, I didn't dislike it. It's just I guess I had expectations because everybody, like I say, it seems like I was seeing it everywhere. I was seeing people excited about owning it. Was it hard to get for a while or something? I don't know.
Some of it was hard to get. I think it went retail, but the retail version, I believe, was missing a lot of the Kickstarter stuff.
Okay, maybe that was it. Maybe it was the Kickstarter that people were proud of, but I was seeing pictures of it on the internet. I was seeing people post it everywhere. Was seeing, and so I just built up this whole thing that this must be some new revolutionary game. It must do something really cool. It must be, and then I played it and I was like, oh, all right, well, you're just taking little pieces and fitting them in little slots, and who could do that the most efficiently? I don't know. Right. Yeah, I definitely missed something, but yeah.
No, it's not for everybody,
Yeah.
It's and see, there's Samantha saying she doesn't really care for it either.
Yeah.
I may end up having it for a year or two and then selling it or getting rid of it, but
Yeah.
that was my most recent acquisition. The first one got lost. It wasn't delivered right.
No fun, Rob. Oh, that's right.
Rob is not used to
Draftosaurus
fun.
expansions.
What's that?
Draftosaurus expansions got lost.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wayne got revenge on me on that one. But other than that, I think I already discussed all the other acquisitions that I got. I got the all play trick taking. Those 4 games came in.
Nice.
And I actually played Lunar, which is a very cool. I haven't played the other 3, but if the other 3 are like this trick taking game, I'm gonna freaking love all of them. But Lunar it's really cool. If I have a second to
describe, there's a lot of Lunars going on. Yeah, it shows yours for now until a call comes in. There's a Lunar from 2023 about nocturnal animals. There's a Lunar 2021 brutal skirmish game combat moon between competing teams and astronauts.
No.
Lunar rails, lunar base, lunar anything.
2023.
2023.
Lunar 2023 from All Play.
From All Play. I'll keep searching here.
Well, speaking of
Lunar or Luna, I think it's Lunar.
Lunar.
But anyway, just to kind of explain the game. So trick taking game, 4 people, team based. So the person sitting across from you is on your team. The way that the cards are, there's 4 suits, and the cards are numbered 1 through 8. So there are three cards of each color of each suit, and 6 cards of each suit color, because the cards are separated. So you have the black backed cards have the suits on them, and then you have the white backed cards with the numbers on them. So the numbers are 1 through 8. There's 3 of each number. The suits, 4 suits, 6 of each one. So when you start the game, whoever is the lead, the black coin lead, you always start. So when you deal the cards out, you're dealing 6 white cards and 6 black cards to each person at the table. And then, so you have 6 of each. You're going to take 2 cards out of your hand and you're going to pass them to your partner across the table, and he's going to do the same thing without looking at them. Then you put them in your hands. Then starting with the lead, you're going to choose which suit is not going to be trump. And it'll go for the first 3 people. So it'll leave one color that is trump. So you can kind of, prevent whatever. And then you start playing. So with the lead, you can start with a number or a suit. Whatever you play, your partner has to play the opposite. So let's say I put a green card down. Next person is going to go. They can either put a green card down or they can put a number down. It's totally up to them. And then they go to my partner. And since I put a suit down, he has to put a number down. And then the person, that went after me, if he put a number down, then his partner has to put a suit down. And you have to follow suit. So you'll win tricks, like you normally do, combining the 2 cards. And then there's a whole scoring mechanism at the end of the game where if you get 0 to 2 tricks, you get 10 points. 0 to 3 tricks, you get 10 points. 4 or 5, you get 0 points. 6 tricks, you get 5. And then it'll go back to, I think it's 7, 8, you win 10. And then 9 through 12, it's 0 points. So it's the first team to get to 30. And then there's stars on a couple of cards that give you points. But so you play all your hands, and as soon as it's all done, you write down your score, and then the lead moves clockwise around the table, and you deal out the 6 of each type of card. It's just really cool, and I played it probably 3 or 4 times now, and trying to the communication with your partner across from you is, I'm still trying to figure it out. And all of us that played, we are still kind of trying to figure it out, where if I'm passing you, like by what I'm passing you, how can I communicate to you that I'm looking for this, or we're trying to lose every hand so that we can stay in the 10-point range, or, are we going to go for the higher number wins to get the 10 points in that range? I got the upgraded components, and they are the most overdone, like the markers for, because if you're the black lead, it'll say lead and it's got like a symbol on it. And then there's the white lead, which will be next. And then there's another black token and then another white token, just to show the team. They are like this thick square piece of metal that each one, and it's got like the painted, is it like an enamel that you apply to a metal to?
Yes.
This
it's
little
like
box.
a hard coat glossy enamel.
Yes, exactly. And then the 4 suits that you would flip over to show, like when you're choosing which suit is not going to be Trump. There's 4 of those, each with a symbol of the different types of suits. And they are freaking heavy. So you got this little square box, it's a square box game, like a typical all play game. And it weighs so much. These components are so ridiculous. But I mean, of course, it's really nice to have them, but it's just a little over the top. But the artwork in it, I really like the artwork of the cards. But anyway, so this is one of the games that one of my recent acquisitions that I've actually played recently. Very good game.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
I was talking Trick Takers. There was one that Mike DeLisio really liked this year. It made his top 10 games of the year list. I think it ended up at number 10. Have y'all watched those videos? I can't remember what it was. I want to say it was Flip Town or something Town.
In our Discord.
Oh yeah, Flip Town. It
Town?
came out this year. Yeah, it's like the Western one, and you have actual playing cards in it.
Yeah. Have you played that one at all yet, or?
I have not. No,
Okay.
It's on my list of games that I want to play.
Okay.
I don't own it, and I didn't back it or anything. So
I had another trick taking quiz for you, Mike. So short story, driving around doing a million errands today. I was catching up on podcasts, and one of my podcasts, the guy was talking about a trick taker that he is in love with. He was actually using a proxy copy, but he said the name once and then never said it again. And of course, I'm trying to go back to my podcast, and it auto deleted because it was like a week or 2 old. So like my once it's played, it deleted. Anyway, he described the trick taker is it's the second place person wins the trick, not the first place. So you want to play cards so that you're second best. And then you score cards based upon offsuit cards that scored in the tricks. And the first person to hit 40 or 42 points is a loser. And anyone in that trick that goes over loses. So it's like the person who gets closest to 40 wins, but going over, you're out.
That doesn't sound familiar at all. Not that means anything, because I mean, I still consider myself new to trick takers. Yeah.
I need to now go back through all my podcasts, even though it deleted, to open it back up again. But it sounded really cool. I like the idea, because I love trick takers, but the idea that not the highest card wins, it's the second highest card that wins.
That totally sounds like one that came from Japan.
Yeah, it's got. He said he was playing with a proxy copy. He's hoping to replace it with a real copy soon. So I'm thinking that's why I figured it's got to be a Japanese one or something like that.
I think I see a lot of Japanese or Asian in general designers tend to gravitate towards trick taking. Have you noticed that too, Mike?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I don't.
And West Coast, like that whole Oregon. There's Washington
a group of people in Oregon that get together, I think, a couple of times a year, where they have developers for trick takers, and it's a con, like, not really like an advertised con, but it's a con, and it's only card games that are played. So it's where you would go to find out like where all the latest ones, the latest ones that are coming out in Japan, because I think a couple of the people that go there actually own stores that import from Japan, or people go to Japan and bring back, multiple copies to sell. And I actually there was an announcement in one of the Discord group that I'm in for trick takers. One of the stores just got a shipment in from Japan on a number of trick takers, and I grabbed a few before they sold out. There's one that's like sci-fi based, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, yeah, I'm all over that one. So,
And
Nice.
actually, Rob and I played Fox in the Forest.
Oh
this
yeah,
week.
yeah.
oh, I
right.
love that one, man. Yeah,
We were
that's a
killing
good one.
time, and Carlos was playing Land, Air, and Sea. And
Heroes
were
of
getting
Land, Air, and
ready-
Sea.
Yep.
Heroes of Land, Air, sorry. So we got in a couple.
This
games
is
of that.
Air, Land, and Sea, not to be confused with Heroes.
Heroes.
Land, Air, and Sea.
No, it was the first time I played a 2-player trick taker like that, and I was really impressed. It was like, oh, that's kind of fun. I can see where this is good game.
Yeah, and the scoring on that was kind of like
Yeah.
the game you were talking about, Mike, where you know it increases to a
Yeah, it
certain
has
point and
similar
decreases.
scoring.
So yeah, you want to hit certain numbers and not other numbers as far as tricks. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Very cool.
We got Sam in the comments here. Mike, I need to play a trick taking game with me when you come for Dice Tower. Come to Dice Tower. My group
Absolutely.
and family aren't big on them, and I want to try them. So, and then I responded that I love trick takers, so I'm down to play. It looks like
Yeah.
Diego likes some trick takers. He's got Orm coming and Sea Salt and Paper.
Oh man, Diego, I want to hear what you think about Orem because again, that's that
Mike's
one.
jam.
Oh man, it's so good, so good.
I think Diego, Sam, myself, and someone else need to get together and play some trick takers here. I want to try.
I like the
Orm.
trick takers. I know Carlos likes trick
Let's do it.
takers. Yeah,
Yes.
we're all in on that. I actually
Reese-
played the
yeah.
crew at this last dice tower. We played the crew. We played the first. It wasn't a bunch. We played the first 5 or 6 missions. But yeah,
Yeah. Getting back to your question, Carlos, though, about so many Japanese developers, I'm very curious, and I don't mean this like in a bad way. I'm very curious because, like they have tiny hotels over there. They have like a lot of things are just small because of the population and
The density
And
of population there is
density,
insane.
yeah.
right. I'm very curious if they lean towards trick takers or card-based games because they don't really take up a lot of space on your shelf. So you could have a lot of different varieties of them without needing the space for them, I guess. So I'm very curious if like maybe that's or they're taking a minimalist approach, like how can I get a really good game out of just a deck of cards?
sure,
Makes
makes sense.
Right, and some of the games that end up in my bag, I should say,
Right,
to
or the
take
smaller
with me
ones.
everywhere. Right, like Oink, right? Big publisher out of Japan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look how they try to really package those games into those tiny little boxes. And they just redid Scout. I think another publisher picked up Scout as well, and did not put it in a tiny box. It's more like the crew and or ish like That's So Clever size box,
Right.
which to me doesn't make any sense. Like if Oink can get this thing into such a tiny box, why are you going so big? Here's the Oink page, game publisher in Japan. And I think all of their games, or major majority of the games, fit inside that tiny little box.
Yeah.
So it is about
Yeah.
using space efficiently, not taking up more space than they need to, which makes them expensive because they have to really produce it right. And those cardboard boxes are amazing. I don't know if you've seen the Oink boxes, the Scout,
Oh, yeah.
Insider. Those things are thick. I mean, like THCC thick, like oatmeal thick and hard.
Yeah.
Like you can stand on it.
Oh yeah, funny.
They can take the abuse.
I sense an inside joke here, Michelle.
Yeah. I was gonna say thanks, Michelle. Thanks for the reminder. Yeah, I mentioned we played at Dice Tower. Michelle was in that group, and we were playing the crew. And I hadn't played the crew, and it had been a little bit. It'd been probably a year or so, but I probably hadn't played much trick takers. And so, it was the first or the second hand we played, and you hand out the objectives. And so I grabbed the one to win with the pink 2 apparently or whatever it was, because I got the pink 2. This is easy. So I grab it, and then it hit me after I took it. I was like, hold on, how am I going to win the pink 2? And I have the pink 2. So how am I going to win that trick? And so right off the bat,
Nice.
that was the joke for the rest of the time we played: is don't pull a Rob, don't grab that if
That's
that's
awesome.
what you need to win.
Yeah, we actually played. I think we played about 10 or 15 missions on the crew on VGA on the Discord channel. I think
nice.
Nick and myself. I think Jim played. I think there's a bunch of people. So it's fun. Both this and I think Deep Sea are on VGA, so we could play
Oh,
them
cool.
virtually as well.
I want
we
to get
definitely
through
do
all 50 missions on this one.
Yeah, I see. Carlos and I talked about it at one point, trying to go through it, but it's like every time we played, we would pull in somebody new, and then we'd start
And
all
you gotta
over again.
start
because,
over.
you got to teach
yeah.
somebody new. Yep. So
So
we've gone. I played probably those first 10 missions probably close to 10 times with 10 different groups of people that I've played that.
I just wish they had a good 2-player variant.
Yeah.
Like that to me would make the Crew the game I play the most.
You really need it to be 4 players, I think. In my opinion. Yeah.
At least 4.
Yeah, at
You
least
could
4.
probably set up, get back to a once or twice a month Discord. And
Yeah.
set up,
BGA.
all right, these 4 people, you're the one group. These 4 people, you're another group. Get together and play through it.
Yeah. I'd be down for that.
Yeah, the issue with the Crew for me is being that, like you said, right, every time we start a new game, we got to start from the beginning.
Yep.
Someone's got to come out with a good 2-player trick-taking game that kind of has that progression feel like the Crew does, right? That almost campaign feel to it.
Right.
Because Fox and the Forest Duet didn't do it for me.
Yeah, it's just so hard to do a 2-player trick taker, so that's accomplishment on its own. Then to take that and
make
then
it
add
cooperative.
some kind of cooperative, and then make that into a campaign. I mean, you're asking for a lot, Carlos.
I'm just saying, Eric Lang, what you doing in 2024? What you got going on?
Yeah. I don't know if Eric likes
Give me a
trick taking.
Cthulhu 2-player co-op trick-taking
Got to
game
put some minis in it
with Vikings.
Yeah, it's got to be some minis in there.
Man, all 50 missions on one cruise. That's
awesome.
That's a lot of
Memorable and fun, I imagine.
All right.
Did they do the space one or the underwater one? I mean, that's what really matters when you're on the cruise.
Probably
theme it?
space. Yeah.
I got rid of the water one. I didn't. I played.
I haven't
it a
played
little
mine.
bit.
Oh, it's good. It's better.
I know everybody raves about that one. I don't know if it's because I don't care for the, every mission. It's kind of like wishy-washy. It's nothing's set in stone, which I think I prefer, and that's why I think I lean more towards the space one.
I'm kind of with you on that, Mike, because it's like if you lose, you at least know what you're going up against.
Next time.
Like it's a reset. It's
right.
like
I think
is it
like
Dark Souls the video game? Is that the video game?
Oh yeah.
Where you die and you kind of come back and then try it again until you solve it.
Yeah.
Where with the Crew, the underwater one, you can't. You don't know what the mission's going to be.
Change each time.
The objective will be different.
And I think what's funny is I think the same podcast where they talked about the trick taker that I now need to figure out what it was. They had mentioned that they had played the water one a bunch, but hadn't actually done the campaign because they just kind of make up their own, because it's random, right? You can draw different things. So they talked about how that was like they would actually like to sit down and do the campaign, but they just end up not doing it because of that. Finding the group to do it all the time.
Sounds like the story of my life. I'd like to do that, but I end up not.
Pretty much.
Michelle says space. She answered my question when I asked. It was the space version. Water wasn't out yet. That will be that will be for the next one with that group.
Oh, cool.
And Ron from Ron Talks Tabletop says, "I love the underwater one. The challenges are more diverse."
Yeah. They
I would
change
agree
up
with that.
Yeah, there's definitely a bunch of different things you do in that one.
So what I'm hearing is we need to have a Beans and Dice cruise where everyone brings all their trick takers.
We've talked about that on and off. Yeah,
Let's do it.
A little bit.
I don't like boats.
Yeah, Carlos doesn't like boats. Yeah.
I've had to be rescued by TPD out in the
canoe,
out in the bay. I'm not a fan of boats.
See, that's not a boat. That's a ship.
That's a ship.
Yeah,
It's a big.
Listen, I made it to America once. I'm not leaving again.
not doing that.
You came from America to America.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Don't forget, folks, it is a call-in show. If you want to call in, 813-618-7099. We're here to take your calls.
Don't let this banter fool you.
Yeah.
Yes. And don't wait on Ron. You can beat Ron to be the first caller.
Everybody can be the first caller.
I was going to tell you.
At one point, Mitchell was the first caller, so someone else can take that mantle up now.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Almost 10
Carlos,
o'clock.
so speaking of 2-player games, I finally got one game off my shelf of shame. Matthew came over and we were just playing a few 2-player games. So we ended up playing Seven Wonders Duel, which I have played before.
I want to know more.
Good.
But we learned Radlands, which I had not played, and I have owned, whatever they call it, the super mega, deluxe edition, which I think you have as well, Carlos.
Yeah, right over there. Where are my
Have you
fingers
played
at?
it?
Yes. I took it with me to Daytona for the Daytona 24-hour race, and Mike and I played it in the tent.
There's a caller.
Hello, Ron Fraser.
Good evening.
Good evening.
He heard us call his name, and he had to rush to the phone, make sure he was the first caller.
We'll come back to Mike's two-player escapades with his son because we're gonna talk Radlands and we're gonna talk Seven Wonders Duel. But the show is yours. 10 minutes. It's all yours, Poppy.
So I wasn't going to talk because I don't have anything to talk about really, and I just got home. Everything from some gaming, but I did remember something I wanted to bring up. So there was a podcast that I listened to, and I want to say I got this idea from the podcast, but instead of talking about what are my top 5 or top 10 games of the year or something like that, this wasn't talking about games, it's talking about something else. What about looking at things like what are the best of a category and the most of a category? For example, what is the best game that I played this year for a large group? Or what is the most exciting game that I played this year? Or something like that. I thought that was a neat thought experiment to go over in 2023. So
English is not my first language, and bourbon happens to be my second language tonight. So say that again. The best of a category of the most of a category.
So
best
game I had the most fun with. Game I had the most with the most players.
Most plays of or something like that.
Of a category.
The game that the best game for large groups of people that I played, or the best, just different categories, and I thought it was a neat little thought experiment. So I thought I'd go through this a little bit.
All right, what category are we selecting for this call?
Example.
The best game that I played this year, for casual, for casual audiences, is definitely Can't Stop. People really get into it. Roll the dice and the whole push your luck aspect to it.
Sure.
As a matter of fact, I just played it tonight again with some new folks that I hang out with on Thursday nights from time to time. And so everybody had a blast playing the game. And I did not score a single point because I kept busting. It was hilarious, actually. It's but it was fine because I taught the game. So, I don't, for the most part, I don't want to be the one to win the game if I'm teaching the game.
Sure.
I don't try not to win, but when you teach a game and then you turn around and you win the game, it's there's some people that doesn't, that can be a little bit of a sour taste in their mouth. So yeah, that was my best game for casual, for introduction to casual players. Also a great game. My most surprising game this year, I've shared about it before on this podcast, is Super Show. I've really gotten into it. And it's most surprising because I would say the gap between my expectation and in my experience is the widest gap, I would have to say. Now,
I clearly at Dice Tower, I just walked right past that booth. I made eye contact. I nodded, thank you for being here. And I just kept walking. I didn't even give it a chance. You're telling me that
you missed?
Yeah, I missed out.
Yeah, missed out.
Yeah, I think you missed out.
I think I did as well.
I don't think Rob missed out. I don't think Rob missed out.
No.
But
I can see him all like
he's more
Ric
in a-
Flaired out, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
looking like Ric Flair.
Woo! I can see Rob with a little Austin 316.
Right. But it's really a fun game, and I've really gotten into it. Not to be too positive tonight, but the most disappointing game that I played. Anybody want to take a wager a guess? Because I played at Dice Tower East this year.
Most disappointing game you played? It probably
Yes, I played it with Rob.
Earth?
And no, I didn't play. I never played it.
That was my most disappointing. I'm sorry. I was
Yeah.
putting it on you. I was living through you. Earth?
I can't.
It was Mariposas.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you were hyped about playing that
Mariposas.
one.
I didn't have high expectations for it because I'd heard it wasn't great. So, yeah, that's it wasn't as big a disappointment, but I agree. It was not a good game.
So the game that I had the most fun with this year that I played was definitely Thunder Road Vendetta.
Still got to play it.
Stop. I need like every podcast, every top 10 list.
Carlos, buy it.
Keeps
Buy it. Get it.
No.
Buy it.
Stop.
Full Metal Edition.
Stop.
Stop it.
And that was
Michael
going to
Jordan,
be
stop it.
That would have been one of the two games. So Ron's first question is like the best game to introduce to gamers or to have fun with casually.
Casual.
That was I immediately thought of that and another game. So that was it, man. Yeah, that's a good one. That was so much fun. I played with Sam, Ron, me, and a random guy, and it was a blast.
I think I need to play with you guys because that made my top 5 most disappointing games this year for me.
It really does depend on the group, and I think you also you have to go into it knowing that you're just going to cause chaos. You have,
and I did. And again, I think I was just with the wrong group, but I would look forward to playing with you guys because I know that you guys enjoy it so much. So.
They also need to be in on the Magic Circle. You might be okay with causing chaos, but if the rest of the group didn't go in with chaos in mind,
yeah.
Like
I could see that
would
falling
need to
flat.
play with us as well.
No, that's what it is. I sat down at the table, and it was Ron and the other guy, and I turned to Sam, and I said, "Sam, I'm gonna be Dan," and she just said, "Okay, I get it. Let's go."
you get it. That's a thing.
And then from then on, he didn't smile again.
No,
He just kind of kept a real sad face.
I'm just trying to kill everybody.
Chaos.
Amazing.
It was fun.
All
right, Ron, what else did they have?
We got
Anything else?
Thunder Road Vendetta, and then we have Mariposas as games that Ron has talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. So those games all came to mind. Like, I would have to say that my game that was the most that most met my expectations. How about that?
Okay.
That most met my expectations was War of the Ring, the card game.
I was going to ask. I was going to guess that. Yeah.
I expected that game to be great.
Yep.
And I had high expectations for that game, and it got there. Like playing the 4 player. The 4 players is still the best. I played it 2 players. I got the solo co-op expansion. I've enjoyed playing those modes as well. But there's nothing like playing that game with 4 players.
That's one of my best memories of the year is playing that with you and Will and Jodak, Jim Odak at Dice Tower. That's one of my highlights of the year. I had no expectations for that one. I didn't know hardly anything about it, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember, since like before Dice Tower, before I had a chance to play the game, like I was trying to figure out as much as I could about it. I was asking the same designer that did Quartermaster General, and I was, curious about that game and how it works, and trying to figure out, get a sense of how the game might actually play. Because I was really hyped on it. and it's my favorite theme. So yeah, it does a great job of that. So
Yeah.
it's still not as good as the board game because you can just do more,
Sure.
right? In the board game, but it's fantastic.
But for a deck of cards, yeah, it's a great time.
For a deck of, yeah, exactly. For a deck of cards, it's a great time.
Yep. Nice.
So yeah. So that's what I was just thinking about, like, and I just really think that's for me, that's just another way to kind of think about, just to review the year, not necessarily rank all the games against each other, but it's kind of like just really focus on the highlights, the games that really brought me joy, and and some of the games that not so much, but
yeah.
Excuse me. Some of them is for 2024. I have very little clue as to what's actually coming out in 2024. But it doesn't really matter.
Me too. I'm still trying to catch up on last year. I haven't even gotten to most of the good games this year, and to even think about next year is just ridiculous right now.
Yeah.
And we don't even do Kickstarters.
Yeah.
Like we're not even like waiting on Kickstarters to come in, and I'm already feeling like the anxiety.
Here comes 2024.
Mike and I are like, who are you talking about?
Yeah, like I already know which one I'm
it's
looking
me and the
forward
mouse
to.
in my pocket, not you guys.
The royal we. Right?
Yeah, sure.
I can be certain of three things for 2024. I'm going to play some amazing games. I'm going to play some games with amazing people, and I'm going to play some games that I've never seen before.
Nice.
And those are all exciting.
Absolutely.
That's good stuff.
That sounds like a hope for next year.
Words to live by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Save that for later, Carlos.
Write it down.
Hey, Ron, real quick, just want to let you know that Armada Games and the Barnes & Noble in our area both had Lorcana. So my son is going to have 2 starter decks. I got 2 starter decks and 4 booster packs for Christmas morning. So maybe
I picked up 3 of the starter decks for the gamers in my family.
Yeah,
I tried to pick up a starter deck this weekend. I gave my 11-year-old the choice to get that or some Pokemon packs, and he went Pokemon. I'm so disappointed, but oh well.
Why
get
did
there.
you give a choice? You don't give choices to 11-year-olds.
Yeah.
Well, it was one of those spur of the moment things.
But Bobby wants to play Lorcana, so you're getting Lorcana.
Yeah, that's how it has to be sometimes. Want to make sure it happens. Right.
Yeah.
I got my wife.
right,
I got my wife the new, Quartermaster General.
Oh yeah.
I got
new bowling ball. And
You got your wife.
Right.
You got your wife to be quarterback in the room.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
She might. I think she wants. Thunder Road.
Oh, if
Only if it's
for
the
Three
blinged
Kings
out
Day.
edition, though.
She wants Thunder Road. Yeah, the blinged out edition. Yeah.
Thanks for calling, Ron. It's
Thanks,
a pleasure
Ron.
as always. Even when you don't have a topic, you bring up good stuff. So I mean, that's always appreciate you calling in. And everybody, check him out. Ron Talks Tabletop, a regular contributor on the Dice Tower. You can find him on several different spots on the Dice Tower network.
He's officially board game famous.
Yeah, so pay attention, Ron Frazier.
The man.
All right, thanks, guys. Take care.
Have a good night, Ron.
Thanks, man.
So Diego there in the chat said he's got Thunder Road Vendetta on his shelf of shame. So let's fix that, Diego. Get it over here.
Yeah.
Bring it.
Come on over. Let's go.
Hey, cross the bridge.
Yeah,
come on,
let's play this thing.
come all the way over across the bay.
Yeah.
Bring it over on a Thursday night.
Let's fix that problem. We'll help
and
you.
we'll give it the beans.
We are problem fixers here. Yeah.
I like the idea of like coming up with topics of like, and it goes to like Diego in the Discord chat up for the Discord server where he had the Beans and Dice Awards and he was coming up with all the various awards. Carlos? Did you even see that thread yet?
No.
Oh. So Diego said that Beans and Dice needs to have their own award ceremony, and he came up with a whole bunch of categories where it was like,
oh yeah,
best game to spill a
Top
beer
10
on.
foods to devour while walking to your game table.
Right.
Mitchell.
Must be a
That was from
Michigan side thing.
BJ
That was
from Board Game
BJ, yeah, Board Game
Gumbo.
Gumbo. Yeah.
Like top 10 games to spill a beer on, or top 10 games 2 out
Ooh.
of 10 that are.
We've done
What
a few
game was
times.
that you spilled my beer on?
We
It was a
did,
But
good
then
one.
they would
did.
say
It
who the
was-
presenter was.
It was
Betrayal.
Legacy.
Right,
Betrayal.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Legacy
so
of
Wyatt
Top
was
10
the
games
presenter.
to play in 30 seconds or under. Presenter, Mortex.
Yeah.
And then I said, no. It's top 10 games where I could take my turn while you're still doing yours.
Yeah, that was Wayne's. Yep. Mhm.
Top 10 easiest games to put away. Presenter, Carlos.
Carlos.
Ah!
Scrape it into the box.
You know, hey, you know who Mutombo'd me? You know who like blocked me from doing that? Yeah, Daryl, bro, Daryl. Like we
Yes.
were putting in Hadara.
Hadara,
We
yeah.
played Hadara. We're gonna talk about games we played at game day, and I went to go swipe, and Daryl's like, and he's just bagging everything up one at a time.
Putting all the cards back in the dividers.
I know how you are. We're not doing that.
That's
Oh, that's
Eurogamers.
funny.
Eurogamers.
Daryl is a good guy.
Yeah.
There's a list of like 15 or 20, or people keep posting them in the Discord server. There's some good ones out there. I like.
Oh my god. Diego says best game to score 35 while everyone else scored 150 plus. Presenter, Carlos.
Game Tapestry.
Number 1, Tapestry. Number 2, Tapestry.
Yep.
You guys are insane. We do got to get Diego over here to the studio.
Yeah,
one day.
he needs to come play.
Diego, you
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Rachel are formally invited.
Yeah.
He said
Let
he's
us know
off
what your
next
schedule
week.
looks like.
He said he's off next week, so
Yep, I'll talk to wifey and we will pick a day and get you over here to the studio.
I work. Y'all can game during the day. I'll come over after work and we'll play a game. We'll
Thunder
play
Road.
Thunder Road Vendetta. Yeah, save that for me. Yeah, I want to play that one. Yep.
That was good. No, but Ron's topic's kind of like Diego's. It's not just the top 10. It's like top 10 meaningful experiences or funny things or things like that. It's cool. I like that.
Yeah, and as I was saying that, I was thinking I'm going to reference our top 20 of the year over here because several games can do that. Although I was looking at mine, and when he mentioned casual games, my top 20 does not have a casual game on it. It did at several points during the year, but they've all kind of fallen off. We've all gone to kind of heavier games, but lots of those experience. I could probably look up here and see one of these on my top 20, be like, oh, that was a great experience. Top 20. Euros, obviously, for my list, it would be up there. The number 1 Euro of the year would be on my top 20 list. So I think what we've done over here would chime in on several of those best of the year kind of things. But,
I need to get a camera that aims just
right
at
on that board.
and keep that on.
Like I was
Gotta
thinking,
figure that
as he was talking, I was thinking about like, I immediately though, as he was going through his various categories, I was thinking of the game that I would pick for that category, and then at the end I was thinking like, for me though, it'd be like the game that you champion that you loved to teach to other people, right? The top game that you love.
Clash of Cultures.
No. Ugh. Get that out of your system.
No, but I think that we all have that game that we love, right? Or just like for me, the old white guys on the cover, right?
Oh, yeah.
You love showing people like the older games, like things like that. So,
Feliz Navidad, Merry Christmas, Nick Oben.
Mr. Oben.
Feliz Navidad and Merry Christmas, gentlemen.
Thank you for
How are
calling.
you? Yeah, man. Yeah, my pleasure. Merry Christmas. I'm excited. I'm glad to see you guys.
Can you believe it's
We can do
already
it. We can do
Christmas?
it.
Yeah, we're 3 days away.
Like the kids are still in school.
4 days
I know,
away.
it sucks.
I'm not ready.
Yeah.
I'm not ready.
We're not the only ones because Mitchell was complaining like
Louisiana.
Why in heaven was Louisiana? Why are we still in school right now? I'm like,
Yep.
sucks.
Yeah, it's true. The way the timing, the school schedule worked out with Christmas being a Monday, the kids are in school all the way up to Friday before.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh God, it's the weekend, and then it's here. Yeah. But then we reach I think we get the better end of it actually, because then all next week, obviously, a lot of folks were off because it kind of like Christmas kicks it off, and then you get that extra day at the end. New Year's Day is also a Monday, right? If
Yeah.
that works or whatever. So you get that day off next week.
Nice.
No, but it's good to have you guys on. And it's funny. Just telling a buddy of mine earlier tonight, axe throwing is on break. You guys will, of course, all be very sad to hear.
Aw.
But axe throwing is on break. I know between seasons now, and I lose track of Thursdays when there's no axe throwing because my routine is drink beer and throw sharp objects, and then call in after 10 o'clock and start cussing with you.
There you go.
Not exactly in that order.
Yeah, exactly.
No, probably in that order.
Exactly in that order.
That's the way it works.
That is the recipe for success. But with no axe throwing, it's kind of like, oh crap, it's 10 o'clock. I should call in. There you go.
For sure.
And actually, I have we'll do the regular topic of the day. What have I been playing recently? I actually played a game physically here at the house recently. Just a light one. I think I posted about it.
Yep.
Rolling Realms. Rolling Realms on the table.
You said the family really enjoyed it, huh?
It did. Yeah. It was new to everyone but me. And everyone but Lindsay played. So we had 4 of us at the table, and it was fun. It was good. It reminded me, so the first time I ever played it was there in Studio B. Carlos taught it, and that was the only other time I played it. And picked up the base game, I want to say like 2 months ago, because it was like cheap. I became a Stonemeyer champion. Wayne keeps on talking about it, and I got suckered in. So I became a Stonemeyer champion, and then added it to my order, whatever I was ordering at the time. I think it's when I pre-ordered Apiary. I think that's what it was.
Okay.
I pre-ordered Apiary and grabbed Rolling Realm base copy as well, because it was like $17 or something with the champion discount. And so I was like, you know what? I had fun at Carlos's. Let's do it. But it's been sitting around, not played. Then what happened? And Wayne, I saw you got it too. Stonemeyer came out with like a 9-realm bundle or something that included Apiary, and a bunch of others, and it was crazy cheap. Yeah, and you had Can't Stop. It had Can't Stop in there.
It did.
There was a bunch. It was a bunch of good ones. Yep. They had
That's a throwback.
The Rolling Realms throwback.
Yep. And so I jumped in on that and got the bundle. And then when they arrived, I was like, you know what? Rather than, because literally the base game was still in Shrink, right? And now I'm sitting on a box in Shrink, and now 9 individual, 6-card promo packs. And I just wanted to put them away. That's all it was. I just wanted to put them away. So I opened up the base game, opened up all the promo packs, integrated them into the different player decks, and then was like, you know what? I'm gonna leave it out. I'm gonna leave it out, and we're gonna play it. Gosh darn it! It's not like it's a hard game to play. Let's do it. So yeah, that night I taught it to the fam, and we played it, and it was good. It reminded me how much fun those little puzzles are. I really like, every round you've got the 3 different realms, and you got to figure out how they can synergize if they do, right? And it's a very satisfying little puzzle. And it I know Rob, we've talked about this a lot. That I think Stonemeyer does a good job. In general, there are very few bad turns. I mean, it's a simultaneous roll and write. So it moves quick, even if it isn't the best turn in the world. But in general, across the 3 realms, there's something you can do with the 2 dice. It's pretty easy to be like, okay, there's something I can do, until you get to that tense, like the 8th and the 9th roll, where you need certain numbers, and then the no bad turns is replaced by
F you, Jamie.
Yeah. Like happy tension, right? The happy suspense, right? Of like, oh, and that's that suspense. Like Carlos, you love rolling dice, right? It's the rolling dice suspense, right? Of like, oh, am I gonna get what I need? And if you don't get it, oh, F you, Jamie. If you do get it, it's like, yes, this is amazing. So yeah, it was good. It made for good moments. We did have to learn. We had to learn all 9 realms, because in a game, for those that aren't familiar, there's 3 rounds. Each round you have 3 different realms, and the realms all work slightly different. They're all simple, but they're all different. And so we had to learn all 9 realms as we went. So it slowed the game down a bit, but certainly repeat plays would be snappy. Although there's still like 13 realms we have to get through, because I did get the promo packs and stuff. But that was fun. That was good.
Speaking of Jamie, I'll point this out. And actually, so how I've actually learned or started to play more Rolling Realms is Jamie once a week, or at least once a week, plays a game of Rolling Realms on his YouTube channel. And then he posts it, and he'll play 3 games in a row where he said, we're going to play these realms, and people can post their scores and compare scores. And so you can go back, though. He's got there's like 150 videos. So he's got
there's
50,
a ton of them.
there's like 50 full games of 3 different realms. And so you can go back through. He has a whole playlist of rolling realms, and you go back and find a 3 set of games and go, okay, hey, I have all 9 of these realms. Okay, I'll follow along. And yeah, you lose the fun of rolling your own dice because he's rolling the dice and telling you the rolls, but you're kind of playing against him. And then you can also compare your score to the community. So it's really pretty nice. You can and so that, and what's good is each time he brings up a new realm, he'll kind of like walk through, here's how you score this realm, or here's how this realm plays. So it kind of self-teaches you a little bit. Really quick intro. So I'll plug that for anyone who owns Rolling Realms or wants to buy Rolling Realms. You can play this solo easy because you can play, and it's fun because you could just pull up a Jamie video and watch him going through and playing the game and play along. And I've done that like, I don't know, 6 or 7 times now, and it's been a while I'm sitting there watching something, I'll just have him on and look at do that and do that. So it's good.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because actually I could definitely see me and like my sons doing it, playing along with him, right? And then if anyone, since it's a video, if we need more time between rolls or whatever, we just pause the video, right?
Yep.
So
yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
And as we speak, Jamie's on the show right now, so you can talk to him. No, sorry. Yeah. I don't know if you're watching, but Carlos pulled up one of the videos.
Yeah.
So.
But there's, I don't know, it was like 150 videos there, easy, 660 videos. So it's kind of cool.
Oh my goodness, that's really cool. And of course, that is how Rolling Realms started. It started in the Kova era when he did it just as a way. He wanted to make a rolling right that was easy to play remotely. That's why he did it. That is the emphasis for Rolling Realms. So, and then there was like pressure from the community, and maybe also like it made good financial sense. But to actually produce the game, right? Apparently, he says it was never his intent to produce the game.
Right.
He made the game. He made it as a extendable framework so that other folks could just add new realms whenever they saw fit. And print and play, and stuff. But then it is nice to have the production coming from him. So it's good. Yeah, no, that was fun. It was fun. What else? Ooh! I will tell you. Here, you guys can follow along the mystery. One mic, one game. You might be interested here. I received a UPS shipping notification 3 hours ago, and I don't know what it is, because of course it's UPS, so they don't know that it's a package, right? But it's being sent. It's being sent from a gaming company for sure. I won't tell you the name because that might give it away. I actually don't know, and I don't want to know. But the reason I'm making a big thing about it is it's 24 pounds.
Oh, okay. That eliminates the one I was thinking of.
There you go. It's 24 pounds is the size of the package.
So what is it, Mike?
That's a big one.
That's a big one. Yeah, I was thinking the Canvas, the third expansion of Canvas,
not 24
Maple
pounds.
Valley. Yeah, no, Maple Valley or Creature Comforts. Those are all shipping soon, but 24 pounds.
I have a very big hunch as to what it is, but and I can probably just look up and see if this is the distributor they're using. But it's
I didn't hear you on that one, Mike. Waiting for your guess, Mike.
Sorry, I was on mute. So I have to ask a couple of questions. I can probably figure it out though. So did you back anything that you did single wave shipping on? That offered 2-wave. Did you
like 20 questions Kickstarter style?
Yeah.
This is the first question.
Does it fit in a bread box?
No, this is good. I will say this. I will always do the cheaper option when it comes to things like that. So if single wave was like one of those where you can wait for it all to be together and that way you don't have to pay for, I will always do that. Yes.
Okay.
I'm never in a rush to get a Kickstarter or whatever.
You said you got it 3 hours ago?
I got
Mike's
the shipping notification. I got the shipping notification 3 hours ago. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's 24 pounds.
Mike's checking his list.
Well,
like,
I don't have
which
anything
of the 10 that I got today was within the last 3 hours.
Did you back Lobotomy 2?
I did not. No.
Okay. Did you back and do sync?
And I would say.
What were you going to say?
One?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, if you're going on your list, I don't think you backed this game. If it is what I think it is, I don't think you backed it. So that's going to
okay. Did you do single wave shipping on ISS Vanguard?
No, but I should have. Shouldn't?
Because
I
that's
did not back Vanguard at all.
shipping. Yeah, that okay. I get one more chance here.
It's not Simon, is it?
Okay, do you want me
think
to tell you
Simon has it
the
shipping right
shipping
now.
it from? I don't even know if that
Yeah.
would help because it doesn't help me.
The
But
company, you mean?
Yeah, the distributor, like the actual. So it's being shipped by. Do you want me to know or no?
Yeah, go for
Oh
it.
yeah.
Gamerati LLC.
Gamerati.
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 They're doing the fulfillment.
Yes.
Google Foo.
At least I assume that's why they show up as the person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're the distributor or the shipper.
Yeah. They're.
I haven't gotten a game from them in a long time. Damn, I'm trying to think.
The last one I got from them was Stifling Dark, but they also do for Garphill games as well, I think.
Yeah.
The
whole West
I
Kingdom
think you're right.
series.
I don't think it's anything that I
Okay,
backed.
I'm out.
No. Okay, I think I could be wrong, but I think this is Mythwind,
Haven't heard
What?
and I'm with. Well, exactly.
Mythwind?
Exactly. I brought this up before. This is such a cool game.
Nick loses for picking a game nobody else wanted.
What's that could be a winner, man. I love
Yeah.
unknown
Yeah.
games, man.
Mythwind.
What's
I
the
will
name of
see
the
it
game
at
again?
next year's Game Exchange.
Mythwind.
So
Oh,
Mythwind.
yes. I'm excited about this game, and the only reason I didn't back it was because I was kind of like in a lull for Kickstarters. Like I was realizing like there's so many freaking narrated based games that I'm never going to play them all, and it was right around that time. Otherwise, I would have backed that game.
Wait a minute. I'm starting to remember this one. I may have to eat my words.
Yeah,
I think
pull
I'm
it up.
starting to remember
This was
this.
this was
I'm
a pretty
presenting now.
well known one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to
and-
eat my words on this one.
It looks cool. Published by OOMM. Who are they again? But
Isn't this the same guy that did don't say it, Zaya?
Is it Brendan
I think it's this-
McCaskill? I think he's done a number of things.
I think it's the same guy that
same guy
did.
This is not
Star
necessarily
of
a-
Aquarius.
Stars of
I was
Aquarius.
gonna say-
All right, never
I was
mind.
going to say
All
it's
right.
not necessarily the best endorsement, but yes, this is by the same guy that did Stars of
I would
Aquarius,
have
which
to
is another
agree
game
with
I backed and haven't played. But no, this is the one. Rob might remember this as being completely uninterested because this is the one where it
has all the hexes.
cooperative. It's a cooperative city builder, cooperative like world builder, where each player plays a different villager, a different role. Like you might be the innkeeper, and someone else is the woodworker, someone else is the hunter, whatever. And you're trying to cooperatively build a civilization and score, but you don't really score and you don't really win. That was the part. That was the part that actually intrigued me, just because it was different. There is no win condition. You literally just play the game and see what you do with your village.
It's not really a game at that point.
Yeah, there isn't a thing. There isn't a thing where it's like, oh, a hurricane comes through and you can lose. Like you don't lose. You just see how well you do at developing the village. So I assume the community will come up with ways of measuring.
Look that
success,
Rob
right?
just gave me.
I'm disgusted. Why?
But why though?
Why?
Oh, why?
Why?
It's Sims the board game, right? You know.
Right.
Yeah.
I go to work. I wake up. I go to work.
Yeah, I do that.
The
That
village
was the,
prospers.
That was years ago. I remember I went to a seminar with Tracy Hickman, a writer for Dragonlance and WotC, Wizard of the Coast, and he writes high fantasy and a D&D player and things like that. And like somebody in the audience mentioned, like, oh, well, my game group we play the villagers, right? Who the blacksmith or the mayor and and he just sat there why? he's like I write fantasy and high venture and RPGs because I want to be the hero. I don't want to be the guy, the blacksmith who made the sword for the hero. Like,
Yeah.
Now, this has some table presence. It looks like it's very asymmetrical. So
It's highly asymmetrical, and I do think so. I mean, how do you make a game that doesn't actually have a lose or win condition without some measure of success? My guess is that the game will provide you a way to kind of realize you're doing well, or pat you on the head and be like, try harder next time, right? Like, you don't lose. That I remember that was a very specific thing. You don't lose, but like, you might not develop your talent very well, and you'll know that. Like, you'll look down at the table and be like, we suck. Like, we're not doing very well. So it's a little bit of a.
Well, as long as you can tell you suck, then maybe it's got some redeeming quality. But yeah,
right. Or so the game will live and grow as you spend more time progressing in your role and building the town. And that's just it. Like, the more you play it, I assume there is some end, although it's billed as a open-ended game. So there you go.
So it could go on forever doing nothing. Okay. Yeah.
No, playing the game.
Playing the game. Okay.
Or
gameplay.
The game.
Stardew Valley also. That's like kind of like that. The Sims and Stardew Valley mixed together.
There you go.
It's kind of like Mitchell's games that he likes. Mitchell likes playing games where he's like the merchant that's selling the stuff to the heroes who are on their way out. Merchants of the Dark Road and.
I don't think he would like this one because it looks like a long game, and I can't see Mitchell ever playing
he'd still
this
be done
game.
in 30 minutes. So, I mean...
Oh, yeah. He'd find a way to get it done in a day.
It's something about the swamp gases and how they like change the time, perception in Louisiana.
Yep.
Oh, this is cool, man. I'm interested to hear what you think of this, Nick, when you get it to the table. I hope you get it there sooner than later.
Yeah, I'll let you. I'll let you know in like in 18 months. It'll be perfect. Yep.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they may not be able to go through the Suez Canal. I think they have to go down around the Cape Horn now. All the fun stuff. Shipping's going to get hurt.
How long it's going to sit on his shelf of shame before he gets it played. But yeah,
I think
I've got the notification. I trust UPS. I'm just talking about me and my.
Yeah, it's going to sit on the shelf.
I was going to say that
You've
based
got
on
a
the fact
plethora
that
of
you're the professed leader of the shelf of shame or shelf of opportunity category, because
listen, I'm the underground like insurgent leader because I tell no one like how many I have.
Not even going to count.
Rob, I think we need to start counting for him.
Yeah, we'll just one day we'll start.
While we're there, we can just start like.
I think he's played that one. I don't think he's played that one. I don't think he's played that one.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, and the killer is if Carlos, are you good at least about opening games? Like, do you not?
Oh yeah, I'm an opener. I'm an opener and puncher, and then put right back on the shelfer.
See, and maybe that's what I need to start doing, because like once I do that, I open a game and like even just the simple thing of Rolling Realms. I said I actually didn't plan to play it that day. I just didn't want to deal with 9 packs of cards floating around on my shelf or whatever. So I opened them and the box just so I could pack them away and put them away. And in doing so, was like, I remember how to play this game. Let's leave it out and let's play it. So maybe that's my thing. If I do start cracking open these shrink games in shrink, I'll just play them instead of putting them away.
But if you do too many at a time, you'll end up like me and Carlos, where every game on my shelf is opened and punched,
but not played.
40 or 50 that haven't been played.
That wouldn't work for me.
Getting them laid on the table goes a long way. I found that with Jaws of the Lion. Me and my daughter, we weren't playing very much, and then I would just start setting up the scenario in the middle of the night. 10, 11 o'clock. I got nothing better to do. I just go out and set up the next scenario. The next morning, she'd come out and she'd be like, "Oh, well, it's already set up. Let's just play." So that helped kind of move things along. So yeah.
Mike, do you open, Mike? Do you unshrink?
For the you know what? I used to be totally opposite, where I wouldn't open it until I was ready to play it. And then I think it was actually Nick that kind of got me to change my ways for some reason. I can't remember exactly what you said.
And reduce your resale values.
Right. So I am an opener and a puncher for the most part. I do have all of Ether Fields. I went all in on Ether Fields, and it's still 100% in shrink. And hopefully it is something that I get to eventually. And most of my Oath Sworn is still in shrink as well. But I am an opener. I was going to say, you had 9 packs of cards on your table. I was about to say, let me tell you about my Marvel Champions collection.
Yeah, no, that's intense. And Mike, we must have just switch roles, because that's my approach now. Is I leave it in shrink until it's time to play it. Like I'm
Oh
going
wow,
to
interesting.
like I'm only going to pull it out and break the shrink when it's time to play in general. In fact, it's kind of sad. It's my Thursday therapy session with you guys. I am right now putting my hand on the shrink that is around the Stars of Icarios box. I have had that
Don't
game
do it.
in shrink since it arrived.
Sell it.
But look, see if I want to sell it, then I can just sell it new and shrink still. See?
Yeah.
So it's good to go.
We got Sam saying she does not enjoy
Very good.
punching games, but I
I find it therapeutic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think Carlos, Rob, and I don't know if Rob, but I know Mike, Carlos, and I. Yeah, I love getting a new game, setting it on my game table, putting on a movie or something, and just unshrinking and punching and organizing and looking at the
If I could get paid to do that for the rest of my life and make a good living, I'd do it.
That.
I think Dan tried to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my son did some volunteer hours over there, and he spent his whole day just punching and sleeving games.
Yeah, it's going to take more than paying me in pizza to do something like that for a living.
But it is fun. It's therapeutic. It's like meditation, right? Because
till that one cardboard rips, and then it's like,
it's
what the?
Yeah. Or you've unpunched it and you thought you organized it, and then you panic because you think you're missing components, and you have to go back through everything. But
and I'm going to admit it right here for the first time ever. I am a sniffer. When I open that box for the first time, I stick my nose down there. I got to smell that new fresh ink smell.
That didn't quit sniffing glue.
Yeah,
that's
I
amazing.
love the smell of fresh ink in the morning.
I picked a bad day to stop sniffing glue.
Dude, I worked in the printing industry. There's something to that new fresh print smell.
I like that. Yeah,
I'm sure I lost a lot of brain cells.
Yeah. I think the Game Schoolers podcast is two guys that talk about games with kids in schools. They talk about like that new smell of a game when you pull the box off and
you crack open a new pack of booster cards of either Magic or Pokemon or whatever.
Diego says our next top 10 list, top 10 games to
sniff.
10 games to sniff. Top 10 sniffs of the last year.
Best new game smell.
Yeah, exactly.
Nick, you still there? Sorry, man.
Sorry. I am. I'm glad that we've devolved to sniffing board games.
Number 10, Stone Age dice cups.
Oh no!
Yeah, you got some leather. There you go.
Top 10 worst. That was infamous. That the smell of that dice cup.
I tell you what. I bought a new copy of that goddamn game this year, like a new one, and the dice cups still smelled like shit.
Oh yeah. It's a thing. I don't know what they did to those leather cups, but that's like the worst smell in all of board gaming. Yeah.
A fresh new printing, you still have that thing.
Every time they go to pack a cup in, the guy puts a little Mythwind into it.
Fart on the cup.
Little Mythwind.
They got a guy they pay just for that. He farts on command.
Amazing.
Wayne opens the package up.
No, hell no, man.
Got my Stone Age cups right here.
Yeah.
Gotta let them air out. You gotta let them air out.
It's
like
just that
10
new
years. Still smell.
Amazing.
That new smell.
Well, I will let you know how Mythwind smells. How about that? I'll commit to when it arrives, because actually if this is what it is, I have to imagine it is, but maybe I'm wrong, by the way. It's impossible. I did not look at my Kickstarter list to see what else it could be. It could be Adventures in Neverland. That's also shipping soon. I mentioned that before. I might just say about it. No, but I think it should be Mythwind. If it is, I will commit to over the break opening it and smelling it and letting Rob
report back.
No, Nick.
Yeah,
it's a new unboxing, a new 5-second unboxing video that you can do.
What you need to do is you need to wait till Frosthaven night, and then we can sniff together. Share experience.
Okay, it's a big enough box. I bet we can both fit. There you go.
Yeah, I
Reached
bet.
an
24
all-new
pounds.
low,
It better
everyone.
be. We can Joe in there too.
Man.
All three of us. Yeah.
I'm
All
staying out
right,
of
gentlemen, have a very Merry Christmas. I'm gonna let you go. Maybe get one more in here.
You
Merry
too,
Christmas, Nick.
Appreciate you calling, Nick.
Thank you, brother.
Good night.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff.
Sam prefers to buy used games so she doesn't have to open them or punch them.
I have to go through them then, and usually
Inventory
people don't put them away like I want them put away. So
What do you mean? Like, how would someone
yeah,
put it away in a way that you don't approve?
Into
throw in
a
their
Here,
other
let me grab
games
my
on
Champions
top
of Midgard. Let's take a
peppermint
peek.
Peppermint tin. Yeah.
Although I do like sometimes you buy a used game and the organization you open up the box and you go, "This is my man right here." The organization in this is
Did you get that copy of Terraforming Mars yet?
No, Carlos is still holding
It's still
it
under my
hostage.
table.
What a surprise! He
No.
forgot to bring it with him.
He
to
did?
the,
He did. Yeah.
I'll give him my copy that's not organized.
No, I'll know.
Well, getting back to Daryl, that copy of Reyholt I got when I got that, he was like, "Oh, I 3D printed some little bins, and they're in there with little lids on them, and all the little pieces are all in the components and the things." And I was like, "Oh yeah. Daryl does it right. Yep."
Yep. I bought a couple of. I bought several games from Diego too, and his games are always well organized.
Nice.
Yeah, then I get an email from the guy I sold the game to asking me for a $20 refund.
You just scraped all this crap in the box. I got to sort it myself. I want $20 back.
It's a crust in here. How did that get in there?
Mike, I ship a game to Mike, wrapped in all kinds of Walmart, plastic bags
Toilet paper.
as stuffing.
Oh yeah.
That was something else, man. I've gotten worse.
I got it from
that
I
was
got a
pretty
game from
close.
Mike, and it looked like it was wrapped by
Bubble wrap
Miniature
and-
Market.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've seen Miniature Market does a great job of stuffing their games, and Mike was above and beyond that. He had like cardboard side
Corner
pads.
pieces.
Oh, I don't know who this is. Let's find out. Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Mihir from Orlando.
Hey, Mahir, how are you?
My man.
Nice.
I'm good. How are you?
Good to hear from you. Been a long time.
Things are well. We are glad to hear from you.
Oh, we got you breaking up, Mahir. I don't know if you're hearing us okay, but you're breaking up, Mahir. I'm not sure if you're hearing us okay.
Hear me?
Oh, we got you now.
There we go.
No. Yeah, I was just mentioning that. I've been able to catch you guys online and live, so I thought let me give you a call.
Yeah, I was hearing great things about Ross.
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
We did. We brought your name up last week. Maybe your ears are burning.
Oh, yeah, they did burn.
I heard there was a big announcement there with Dice Tower. If I heard correctly during the Winter Spectacular, Ross has been picked up as a Dice Tower Essential. Am I correct?
Yes, it is going to be a Dice Tower Essential.
Awesome.
Published by
Congratulations,
Arcane
man.
Wonders.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. That's great.
When we played your copy at Dice Tower,
East. Yep.
I remember thinking, man, these components, and I asked you about like how are they going to make this? Like who's going to produce this thing because of the components? And then when I saw on the Dice Tower about Arcane Wonders, I'm like, okay, that answers it. That's good. I trust this company to be able to figure it out.
Yeah, if they can make foundations of Rome,
Yeah.
they can figure something out for this, right?
Exactly.
So, I mean, that was the same thought process when I was like signing up with Arcane Wonders. That I think that my baby is in safe hands with Arcane Wonders, so I can rest assured that the game will get published and game will get the same amount of love that it deserves.
Absolutely. Yeah. Big name like that. That's a good accomplishment. Proud of you for that.
Yep. When you call in, the show is yours for 10 minutes or more. So you are now the host. Take over. What you got?
So, I've just been playing games and enjoying games, and it's been a good time. What games are you guys enjoying? I've been enjoying Evacuations, Scholars of the South Tigris. In fact, I've played the upcoming Garfield game, Inventors of the South Tigris. They're going to kickstart it next year
Oh, wow. Yeah.
on TTS.
Oh.
So I've played that a bunch, so that is also fun. Besides that, Evacuations is a great fun. I played Legacies today for the first time. It's like a 4-hour kind of game, 3 to 4 hour kind of game. It's an economic, you can call it an economic game. That was fun. It had nice interactions. Just good stuff. And I've been designing some other games because now since Ross is finished, I got to design something else.
Yeah, move on to the next one. Yeah.
Just working on the next design. And really excited to meet you guys somewhere down the line on the next Dice Tower
Oh yeah,
convention.
Yep.
yeah, we'll be there.
Just gonna say,
gonna-
like,
I
we
don't
hope
know.
to play.
I
We're
don't,
looking forward to playing your next game, your next design at Dice Tower East next year.
if you're on that schedule, yeah.
Hopefully. I don't know if you know this, but Dice Tower Retreat is also going to be now in Orlando. So that's something. If you know about it.
I currently have a ticket. William and I, from our group, I think we're the only two that got in so far. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. That's it's a much smaller event. If I remember, about 200 tickets they sell every year, and so it's pretty intimate. A lot of the same people come every year. I know it's probably going to be a little different in Orlando. They did it once before in Orlando, then they moved it back to Miami. They'd been doing it for years and years in Miami, but now they've made the decision. I assume probably something to do with their deal with the Caribbean resort there in Orlando, but they're bringing it back to Orlando, and from what I understand, it's going to be Orlando for the foreseeable future. And so I'm really looking forward to attending that this year. And did you say you're going to be there?
It's just a stone's throw away from my house. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
One can't really miss Dice Tower Retreat because I've been to like conventions. I just came back from PAX Unplugged like 2 weeks ago, and we fall like 2 weeks prior to that. But I still feel Dice Tower Retreat
we're breaking
feelings
up.
that you can never get.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure if you're hearing us okay. We're hearing you in and out a little bit, but
yeah, I can hear you guys. So Dice Tower Retreat is one of the best feelings you can ever get. The best enjoyment you can ever get because the convention is so small and so intimate.
Yep.
Everybody knows it feels like a family. There's a great gift exchange and there's like good stuff. And everybody's just playing. There's no like talk shows. There's no, like even the Dice Tower crew is actively just playing. They're not. They're there to play also with you guys. And it just feels like family because over the 4 or 5 days, you're just seeing the same people. You're playing with the same bunch of people.
Right.
And it's all in a small room, like Dice Tower East, where it's like multiple rooms. This all is like in one big room. So like that is the room. That's it. So you see everybody at every time.
And you still have access.
That brings you closer.
I was going to say, you still have access to that whole library. They bring the whole Dice Tower library, Tom's collection there. And so you've got 200 people playing 2,000 games instead of, 2,000 or 3,000 people trying to play those games. And so if there's a game you want to play on the shelf there, you can pretty much guarantee you'll get it in the 5 days.
Yes, pretty much. So not only that, it's just that
I'm sorry, Mahir, we've lost you there. We didn't catch anything what you said there.
Especially the gift exchange.
Oh, the gift exchange, the game exchange.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah, the game exchange is such a nice thing for Dice Tower Retreat. Like you just bring a game and just keep it in the shared pile, and then they just take your and then just randomly call out and see people cheer for people and just grab the games they want, and you have to be there to experience that. It's words will not do justice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think we kind of stole that idea for our holiday gift exchange that we did just this last weekend. We just had people bring games. We put them all out on the table, and then we drew numbers, and then we did kind of that same idea. We went starting with number 1. There were 10 of us. We went down to 10, and then whoever picked 10th got to pick again. They were number 11. We kind of went reverse order, and we just went up and down that order. It was about 4 times, so everybody got to pick 4 games. So, yeah, a lot of fun. It was a really cool idea. And then Dice Tower, again, it's on such a bigger level. I know last year they had Kickstarter exclusives that people brought that were out there. Games that were worth $200 or $300 were out there. So it was really something to see.
Yes.
Will you be at Escape WinterCon this year?
Oh yeah, my schedule is like I'm going to Dice Tower Cruise, and then immediately later, like Tantrum Con, and then Escape Intercon, and then Dice Tower West.
Nice.
Which I believe
West.
this year is Valentine's Day
Oh, is it? Yeah.
for Escape WinterCon.
Okay.
Yeah,
It starts on
Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
this year is Valentine's. Yeah, this is Valentine's Day. But I'll be with my Valentine. That is board games.
that works. Yeah. No problem with that.
Yeah,
I think that
right. That's always our first Valentine. Board games is always the first Valentine.
First love. Yeah. Something like that.
First love, right? So, what games have you guys been enjoying?
I have been on. Okay, so we're gonna do kind of like a retrospective
Yeah.
for the year next week.
Next week. Yeah.
But right now, for me, I've really been big on Heat, like Heat pedal to the metal. I think another
Yes.
6 plays this week alone. It's just
It's
good.
Gravy, man.
Wow.
It's just
With the
solo
kids.
and with family. It's just good.
Okay. All right.
I'm
Yeah.
sticking with variety. Yeah, I haven't played a lot of any one game. I played a bunch of different games, so different games catch my attention. God, I want to get back to Final Girl. That's the one game, and I'm not normally a solo gamer, but
really
Final
wanna play that.
Girl is the game I keep thinking that I want to get back to the table.
I gotta get a
Nice.
copy of that.
Yeah, that's Van Rider games, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Yep. It's a
Yep.
good one.
I'm like Rob.
Yeah.
I've been playing a ton of games. Although a game that I've played 3-4 times this week already now is Robo Rally. I got to
Oh,
teach,
yeah?
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Classic.
I got to teach Carlos and Rob that over the weekend, and then I randomly ran to Goodwill to drop off like a bunch of stuff to Goodwill for the holidays. Like, we cleaned out the house, and I went in just looking, and they had a $2 copy of Robo Rally there, and it was like one of a different version that I
Wow.
have. It has slightly different rules. And I was like, because my
Huh.
copy is like 20, 23 years old, and this one was from like maybe 10 years ago. So there's different rules. And so I read those. I'm like, I think that'd be easier to teach my kid, because instead of having like the version I played with Rob and Carlos had one deck where everyone gets 9 cards from the deck.
Yep.
This one, every robot has its own deck, and you're
Mm.
drawing from that. And so I played like 3 or 4 times with my kid this week. So I've been really enjoying the Robo Rally experience. And I'll tell you, I loved Carlos sat down to play the game, and I'm teaching the rules. And I go, oh, and then the last thing that happens is all the robots have a laser, and if you're in line of sight, you shoot the other robot. And he's like, wait, we shoot other people in this game? Okay, I'm in. And he's like, he was like a kid on Christmas. He was like,
What was the first upgrade I bought?
Got excited. Yep.
Yeah.
Butt lasers.
I was shooting lasers out my butt. I shot it out the front and out the back.
Nice.
It was awesome. I was just spinning. I was taking every card that just spun around. I was just spinning that dang robot. And what's great is my YouTube feed knows I've been jonesing for it, because I've been looking up Robo Rally 2, looking at all the different editions and
there's a
what
million.
changed what. Because now I'm getting a bunch of BattleBot like shorts on my YouTube feed.
yeah. Oh,
So I'm watching BattleBots.
yeah.
And that was just Saturday we played. That was just this weekend we played it.
Yep. My kid
I've been all
loves
over that on the
BattleBots.
internet.
We watch BattleBots all the time, so I knew he would love this game, and he was getting a little frustrated though, because he was programming and like I had to tell him, like, well, yeah, but when you move on the conveyor belt, then you move again or twice again. He kept forgetting that, and he was like, he's so frustrated. But he was borderline rough, but he was getting it. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
It's on my wish list now. Robo Rally.
All right. Nice. All right, guys, I got to go, but it was great catching you guys, and talk to you soon.
Appreciate it, Mahir. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
calling.
Mahir.
Don't be a stranger.
Congrats
Appreciate you.
again.
All right. Take care. All right.
man.
Night.
Bye.
Always great talking to him.
Yeah, I'm glad Mahir called in. That's cool. Always talking to somebody in the industry.
As Roz gets close to production and stuff, it would be good we should reach out and have him come back on and talk more about the game and publicize it more. So that'd be good.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Rob, what did you think of Robo Rally?
Oh, I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of chaos. It's kind of that whole programming thing and getting bumped around and whatnot. But
2 out of 10.
2 out of 10.
2 out of
Yeah,
10.
exactly.
2
I
out of
loved
10.
it. It was great. 2 out of 10. Yeah. No, it was fun. It's I know you'd asked Carlos afterwards if it was going to make his top 20 list. He said pretty definitively no.
No,
I agree.
right.
It's not going to make my
Yeah.
top 20 for the year. But
Too
I mean,
light for you to be on
it's a little on the light side, a little random for me, but it's a lot of fun.
Speaking of which,
Yeah. What's up, Mike?
I got to add something to my top 20 before the year's over.
Okay.
So,
Uh-oh.
but
Well, let's
I
do
don't
it
want to
now.
interrupt you guys.
Oh, no.
Oh, go.
Unless anybody objects, I'd say go to it. We're coming up on 11 o'clock. What's
yeah,
up?
we just said that our top 20 won't change with Robo Rally. Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea did get played, but I'm gonna update mine again after the new year to do like my final
Final one.
after the new year because I got some more gaming to do.
Yep.
But Mike, get yours in while we're here.
All right. Let me pull it up here really quick.
I'm going to take a quick look at the games we played this weekend just to refresh my memory.
My question is, what of what he pulled off last week? Because he went crazy. He started pulling off all kinds of craziness last time. What's coming back? What's doing the bounce?
Nothing is coming back, but I think a couple of things might drop. I gotta look this over really quick.
So it's not going to be a Barron Park bounce?
All right, while you're pulling that up, let me just run over. I mean, we can run over the games we played this weekend, so we didn't actually specify. So we played Robo Rally. I played Rise, which is a Euro game with Wayne and Daryl. It was a fun game. It was a little different than what I expected when we were talking Euro, because there's kind of
It's just tracks.
It's tracks. It's a main board. Everybody's just moving along tracks, and you're comboing things. You do something over here that might move you on another track. But it was a good game, solid game.
Yeah,
we played
like
Hadara.
Great Split and Tapestry, kind of like a little both elements of those.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that comparison. And then Hadara, and then Wayne already mentioned we played Fox in the Forest. So I played a handful of times with Carlos before Fox in the Forest, but that was Wayne's first play of that. And again, it's tough to do a 2-player trick-taking game, but I think they did a pretty good job of it. That's probably the best 2-player trick-taking game. I haven't played very many, but I'm going to say probably the best 2-player trick-taking game I've played. I can't think of any others that jump to mind that would beat that. But then Hadara, we've talked about Hadara in the past. Real solid game. That's a lot of fun. And I'm in 1 or 2 games of it on BGA right now, which I seem to always almost be in a game of Hadara on BGA now. So
I think it was my first time getting it played with 5 players, with a hard copy on the table.
Yeah, maybe.
Carlos was trying to figure out how I scored what I did.
Oh yeah,
I thought I was doing so well. I really I really thought I was doing
third or
well.
fourth?
Aren't you always though,
Fourth.
Carlos?
Yeah.
I ended up at 142 points. I ended up in, I think it was third place.
The third?
Wayne was winner at 185. No, I was fourth place.
I think you were fourth. I was third.
Wayne at 185, Daryl at 176, Rob at 157, and then I came in at 142.
Yeah.
That's
all right. There's always next time.
Hey, it wasn't 37 or whatever, 34.
At 34 points?
Yeah, I was like re-auditing. I was looking at the score sheet, looking at Wayne, look at the score sheet, looking at Wayne.
How'd that happen?
Yep.
I thought I did better than 2. I thought I was going to be closer to Wayne. I knew Wayne and Daryl were out there, but I thought I was going to be a little closer.
Yeah. And what I love about Hadara is Daryl and I use 2 very distinct strategies too.
Different, yeah.
I think my issue was I did not spend my money on buying medals up front, and that hurt me at the end because I just couldn't afford them once we got to phase 2.
Yeah, you got to get them early.
You got to get those end game scorings early.
Yeah.
I played Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea, which was a solid 4X experience too.
Which might make his board later. Got to tune in later.
Yep. Clash of Cultures is still my favorite 4X game.
Yeah.
Did you still get taken out by the same person?
No, we actually had a very amicable relationship this time. He went after his father. Okay. And there was a lot of war going on between Kai and Zeno.
Although I mentioned to Wayne about 2/3 of the way through the game, I heard Kai say, "Carlos, it doesn't have to be like this." So,
well, okay. What happened was, I was playing very turtle, very turtle.
Yeah.
But one of the end game conditions is exploring everything. It's a 4X game. Explore, exploit, expand, exterminate. By exterminate, it triggers the end of the game if one player has their capital destroyed. By exploit, I'll come back to that. By explore, you reveal all land exploration tokens. By expand, you place 3 towers.
3 different continents?
On 3 different continents. Because you can only place 1 tower on your continent, so 2 other continents have to have a tower of yours.
Gotta plant your seed. Yeah.
Yep. Got to spread it out there. And then exploit. That was get all of your miniatures out on the board. So all your serfs and all your warriors have to be out on the board. And I was kind of going for that route, but found that to be too expensive. I thought I was in a good place. There were a couple of exploration tokens that no one had gotten to on their own continents that were preventing us from triggering the end game.
So you were saying, let me go help you with that.
Yeah. So I had a pyramid portal show up, which a pyramid portal takes you to any desert. So it let me transport myself to. I ended up on 3 different continents.
All spread
out of 4.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't plus mine makes 4 of 4. I was in all of them. I was everywhere. I was playing like the turtle race and ended up being everywhere.
Everything, everywhere, all at once. Yeah.
But popped all the exploration markers, which triggered the end of the game, and then I ended up in 3rd.
Well done. Well done. All right, Mike, you got that list ready?
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
All right, let's do it.
Let's pull it up here.
Pull up the spreadsheet.
Oh, let me do it.
I can see it down there. Carlos is going to share you. There you go.
All right. So, before I add a game, I got to drop one down a little bit. And again, we're basing this off of our last play. So
no, you decide.
I mean,
you just can't move it until you play it again.
Yeah, I played this recently with 2 new players to this particular game, and I think this game depends a little bit on the group that you play with. So, Big Top, I'm going to drop this down. I think
it was on its meteoric rise.
Yeah, it was. Time. Yeah. And again, I think it's just because of the group I played with.
A lion took out a little kid. An elephant went on a stampede.
it looked like a Blue Origin rocket on its way up.
PETA started protesting the animal cruelty.
So it's dropped out of the top 10. It went from 9? It dropped from 9 to 11. So it's only a couple of spots. But again, I think it was just because of the last time I played. Yeah, that's total garbage. But the game that we're adding is Lunar. I absolutely love this. So it is.
Oh, wow. Trick Taker knocking out Thunder Alley.
Yeah, Thunder Alley's dropping off the bottom here. So we'll take that out. And I've only played it a couple of times. I mean, I really did like it, but I think it's going to take a few more to really give me the
Can you do me a favor, though? Can you get some pictures of the game and get it onto BGG? There's not one picture of the game being played, of the components, anything on that BGG
of
article.
Lunar?
Yeah, nothing.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I'll
just the cover.
Absolutely do that.
I'll send you Geek Gold.
Awesome.
Just what
Lunar's going to come in at 19, just under Robo Trick, because I've played Robo Trick more, and I don't know. I think the feels that I had with Robo Trick are a little bit more than Lunar, but again, I've only played Lunar a couple of times. So, but anyway, that's the only game that's been added. So that did knock Thunder Alley off the top 20 there.
Yeah,
but I don't think I've played Thunder Alley in forever. So
the con game.
We need to circle back with Dan. Dan was going to run a TTS circuit or something, Discord or whatever league. You get back to that.
Yep. So anyway, that's my list. Everything else is still the same.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm not going to go through them. You can look at it. So yeah, that is that.
All right. 2024. Here we come. I think we should consider putting on digital versions, digital plays.
Oh.
So not solo, but multiplayer.
Ooh.
No, man.
I don't know. I don't agree.
I like the in-person.
Nope.
Yeah,
just
3 of us.
Limited to in person.
3 to 1.
Carlos, I'm the BGA holic here. I've played 1,000 games on BGA this year or something like that.
Yeah. No.
All right, keep it authentic.
It needs to be personal experience. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the goal for next week is to do a retrospective of the year as we wrap up 2023.
One more show.
Kind of go through all the games that we've played last year, different titles, things that stood out, just kind of random stuff. If you have ideas, we got a ton of top 10s we can go through from the Discord chat. That's awesome. But any ideas on things you want to hear about from our year that you have questions on, we'd love to answer them. Find the channel in the Discord titled Call-In Show Discussion.
There you go.
Throw it in there. Anything you want to hit, any questions you have for us, any topics you want to hit, put it in the Call-In Show discussions for us for next week. That's going to wrap us up for tonight, right?
Yeah, one more show, like I say. One more left in 2023, and then we're on to 2024. We got to figure out what we're going to do with this board and All that good stuff. Yeah.
Flush it and start over.
Yep. Flush it and start over.
Mike, anything for the folks at home?
Nothing. Oh, actually, yeah. I've been so somebody in our Discord, if I got a couple of minutes here, somebody in our Discord, I think it was Booty by Hershey. I don't know what her actual name is. Kristen. I think I brought up Ghost of Christmas, which is another trick taker.
She was playing it.
Yes, and it's a small box, like an all-play small box trick taker. And she said something about if you get the upgraded components, don't think that you're going to be able to get everything back in the box without some kind of lid lift on it. I have been spending hours upon hours
figuring out this puzzle.
Well, here's the thing. I'm learning new software. So, I got my 3D printer and I'm learning Shaper 3D, which I still don't know if I'm going to pay the annual fee. It's pretty hefty, but it's the easiest that I've tried. So as far as like 3D modeling and everything. So I have finally gotten to the point where the main parts of the components that would probably take up the most space, I have figured out a way, and I have printed so many prototype models, and I keep refining and refining. Well, I'm finally at the point where I have figured out, because here's the thing with this game. This is the thing that throws everybody off, and I'm just going to show it here. But there's 4 dials that come with the game. And these take up a lot of space. And most people will stack them on top of each other in this little tiny box, right? So if you do that, you're taking up most of the space. Well, I figured out that if you separate them and put them in the corners, even though that they're spinny things, if you line up the spinny things, you actually can make them really super flat inside the box. And if you can model this is only part of the insert, but if you model the insert so that it goes around the discs in the corners, then you get a lot of extra space. So this is all of the upgraded components in half of the box. So the only thing I have left are the cards and some of these little tiny chits. So I've actually figured it out, and I've seen multiple people like that sell 3D printed inserts for this particular game, and all of them will say, if you sleeve your cards, there's no way that you can fit everything in the box without any lid lift. Well, this is the way to do it without any lid lift. So I kind of figured it out after spending.
Sounds like one mic Etsy station is going
to
be getting some business.
Well, with only one printer, that would kind of put me in a bind.
Or put it on Thingiverse for a couple of bucks. There you go.
Yeah, I was thinking something like that, but I would stick it in there and then like hold it up to show it, but I don't want anybody stealing my idea.
Have you tried wetting the cardboard and folding them in half?
I've heard that works. I think Carlos told me about that. That one,
because that's Carlos' solution.
It's something along the lines of
yeah, lick it and roll it.
And then you light it.
That's crazy cool that you designed that, man. That's awesome.
Oh, thanks.
I'm getting a 3D printer for Christmas, but I'm just gonna borrow I'll be printing things you create apparently.
Well, that's what I've been doing. I remixed a few things that I put up online, and people have commented on them, and they really like it. Like actually the risers for my printer here, and then I have the filament censored, like when this filament runs out, which is normally inside the box, but it's very hard to get to it, like feeding new filament in. So I kind of took a guy's idea and remixed it and made it so that you can actually, it mounts to the riser and you can feed it from the outside, so you don't have to constantly. So I have all these ideas like, popping in my head, and this is almost, I would say it's almost or more therapeutic than actually punching games, is like trying to figure out how to squeeze everything and make it work. Like when you have it in your mind, you're like, I just know I can make this work. I just got to keep figuring it out. So it's like it seems like I'm doing all these hobbies around board gaming that have to do with board gaming, but I'm not board gaming. for some
That's
reason.
that's why I think I've been able to do this hobby so long.
Get your priorities straight.
It's all the
Yeah.
peripheral hobbies around board gaming.
Nope.
Glow
Just
forge,
game.
3D printing.
Just game.
But then again, I don't have you guys as my gaming group anymore.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
if I was still in Florida with you guys, I'd be playing a lot more board games for sure.
I'm replying to Kristen's message to say, telling her to check on the Discord when she posted about that lid lift issue. I'm telling her to check out Mike's insert he talked about on the show at about 2 hours and 5 minutes in, so she can check that out. So good call out.
Yeah.
And I did not get to go back to you, Mike, to wrap up the conversation on on Radlands. Like you brought up Radlands and we got a phone call. You got to play the deluxe copy.
Yeah. It's my copy. Yeah. And my son and we learned it and might have gotten a rule or two wrong. It's actually a pretty straightforward game once you understand what a couple of keywords mean. Like enemy, it's actual people. It doesn't include bases, even though you would think it does, but it doesn't. But yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was going to be a very quick game because I'm thinking, you only got 3 bases you got to destroy. But it's you have to hit it and then hit it again before it resets or catch it after it's been used. So I'm really looking forward to playing it again. And I think it's one of those games, I said this in the chat. I think it's a game that you have to play a few times so that you learn a good number of the cards, so you can kind of predict or have a feeling hopefully this card will show up, or because every card was new and we didn't get through the whole deck. So but it's those really nice those thick plastic cards, so I don't have to sleeve it, and they shuffle really good, man. If you can do a riffle shuffle,
sound.
These are like the best
sound
cards.
that when you do the bridge,
solid, man. It's solid. It's such a good game to shuffle. Yeah,
Chef's kiss.
Yeah, it's so
and
good.
The clack of those Bakelite.
The big heavy water tokens.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Well done. Well done game. Artwork is gorgeous too. That whole black silhouette. Every
Roxley,
person,
man.
Every punk in the game, like it's all like silhouettes of them with like the white eyes. I just love that punk artwork.
Yeah. And again, it's Roxley. I don't think they do good art, and usually their components are pretty top notch. I mean, brass. That kind of tells you right there. Yeah,
I think my 12-year-old might be at an age now that I can teach him that one.
Yeah, there really isn't a lot of rules once you get the basics down. It's pretty straightforward. So
just when I kill him, will he want to come back to the table?
Yeah.
I like and it's a super tight game too, because kind of like Mad Max, like water is you're always searching for that water, and in this game it's so tight where you're just like, oh man, if I just had one more water to be able to do this particular power, every drop of water counts in this particular game. So
all right, folks, that ends the show. That gets us to the end. We'll catch you all on the next one every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. We take your phone calls and talk about what you've been up to. I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Wayne.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Merry Christmas. We will see y'all next week.
Next week.
Good night,
Bye, everybody.
You got the cat up.